Welcome back, YouTube. It is Wednesday again. It is no remorph time, and we have a pretty special guest tonight, so we're pretty excited about that. Chilling, just kind of trying to heal up. Everybody up here's kind of had this stuff passed around. Now Jamie's got it. I'll probably get it back here shortly, but it's been a rough season for that stuff. But we appreciate all you guys coming to hang out with us. Going to be a great show tonight. We got a kind of a legend in the industry to bounce some goofy questions off of, and he was kind enough to sit down and share his time with us. So part of what he is known for is his generosity of time, his willingness to work with new people, and just kind of being an open book and a great guy. So it'll be fun to get into that. We don't really have a ton of news. Again, I think we mentioned we're going to start vending this year. I'm going to hit some shows coming up early spring. So first one we're signed up for is Eau Claire, not too far from us here. That's a couple-hour drive for us. But we're going to hit some border stuff too, Twin Cities. Couple shows this year out there. So vending is going to be new to us. Looking forward to it. Kind of not looking forward to it too. We'll just have to see how it goes.
It's a lot of work. Advice and opinions in our Discord. We'd love to hear all and everything you have to say.
Absolutely. That's a good point. If you aren't in the Discord and you're interested in the Discord, let us know. That is wide open. There's no gatekeeping there, no memberships, nothing required of you. Just if you feel like spending your time in there and visiting, pop in. So interested, we'll shoot you the link. Hit us up on Instagram or wherever else you can get a hold of us. So what else we got, guys? News from the week, something that went on. Got a couple of our first leopard gecko pairings, right?
Yeah.
Jamie, you had some success there with some locks for the first go.
Three confirmed successful locks, so
nice.
Looking forward to that venture.
Yeah, going to be some interesting combinations. You've actually got some nice animals to work with, so cool to see that.
Have some
Jay,
lay boxes on order from Graceful Pythons and Caro.
Yep, Angel. A couple affiliates there with our Forge Coin affiliates. That's pretty sweet. Speaking of Forge Coin affiliates, we will bring them up too. So that is something that's wide open also, guys. So all the people out there that are familiar with us or aren't, if you're in the industry, if you do things with animals, merch, anything you really want to offer with Forge Coin and you'd like to be in on the affiliate program, just let us know. We'll hook you up there and get you set up to exchange Forge Coin for product. So pretty good way to spend throughout the community, get the other overlap going with us and everybody else in here. So who do we got out there tonight, Jamie?
Oh, we're going to start it off with the Prince.
Oh, the Prince. Mr. Trying to take over Rose shorts with the reels and stuff. He's showing some thigh and some sass and attitude, but appreciate you coming out, Blake. Appreciate it.
I appreciate the sass.
Yeah. Jamie's a fan of the sass. We got the Dead Man, Blue Zombie Morphs. Good to see you too, Vance. Appreciate you coming out. Every week he's out here to visit with us. So Vance is a good guy. And Blakers is in here every week as well. Appreciate you. Always good to see you in the audience. We got DDM. These are local guys to us, Dustin and Melissa over there. Had a chance to go visit with them Monday night or Tuesday night, Monday or Tuesday, one of them nights. Swung over to their place.
I think you went Monday.
Visited for a bit.
Bowling.
Yeah, it's good to see them. We got Sammy. I got Sammy's shirt on tonight. Pink Panther in the house. Appreciate you, Sammy. Mr. 2%. I love that whole attitude he had through that whole process. Yeah, Sammy's a good guy, man. He's awesome. Appreciate you, Sammy. We got Tim. That's the old man sitting on the couch watching his kids do their thing. It's crazy to say that, kids and old man, when we're crowning that 50 mark too here. So, but appreciate that for sure. Brave young guy in the biology department at college. He is going to make the transfer over to snakes shortly too. We're going to get him on the show, I think, have him sit down and visit and tell us a little bit about his biology endeavor.
Heck yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. We got Phil Constrictly. Good to see Phil in here. He just started up a show. He transferred over from TikTok when they had that whole shutdown and kind of disappointment. But Thursday nights, catch Phil at Naughty Business. He's got a new show up on his YouTube. So pop over there and give him a watch. We got Joe. Might as well add just another J into this mix. We got John, Jason, Jamie, we got Jilly on tonight, and we got Joe in the audience too. So yeah, we're going to say all the J's all at once, but appreciate it, Joe. James B., back alley artist, still looking for some of that art to pop up on the Discord. You're going to have to share with us sooner or later. Be easy. Appreciate you, though. Thanks for popping in every week. We got Don D. Don D in the house. It's Purple Rain time. It's always going to be Purple Rain when Don D shows up. Father Don, Purple Rain, whatever you want to call Don D, he's always here. Glizzy Gang, I think he's part of now. We'll leave that alone. Jason Opelt, he's waiting on his entry song. It's a copyright issue trying to get Opelt his song in here. We've tried a couple different versions, and we don't want to get hooked for that. So, but we'll get one in there for you, Jason.
1 year later, he gets a song.
Ebony and Ivory. We got Matt out here. That's good to see Matt out here too. Good support, man.
I love that.
It's a great show with the double clutch. Yeah. Him and Big Mike on the weekends. Every other weekend, I should say, but good show. Connie, that's the other half of Tim there on the couch watching the kiddos do their thing, stumble and bumble and jumble their words, but appreciate you coming out every week. They're here watching. We got Craig, Bash Coder. Craig has some stuff bubbling and burbling in the background. We've got a pretty interesting program coming up, and is actually co-host with Billy on his weekly show. So that is a good combo. They bounce stuff well back and forth, and it's good to see them working that out, man. But appreciate you coming out here for sure, Craig. Got Big Dan, Vision Quest Reptiles, puzzle game, super strong. He's got the DG puzzle stuff in spades over there. So good to see you, Dan. Thanks for coming out. Jay, you got this one because I got a cough. I got to mute myself.
James Perry, JNS. Thanks for coming out. John Stein. You guys, man, you should separate. Get you guys on that side of the screen and me way over on this side.
Yeah, and then Eric from Eric's Morph Factory. Appreciate you, Eric. Sorry for the little parting ways there, guys. We just try to do this every week, and man, it's not been fun with these head colds, I'll tell you, but it's okay. We're gonna make the best of it. We got A Run number 3 from Batter Up Balls. He is on 15 Minutes of Lame this year, and keep an eye on that guy. He's got a lot of nice rainbow stuff over there, so good to see you out here tonight, Aaron. Greg, Rippin' Reptiles, one of our first guests and still one of our closest contacts in this whole industry, man. Greg's a very nice guy, easy to work with, easy to talk to, and you just got to look out for the memes. He's slinging those things left and right. We got John from Inquiline. Good to see you, John. It's been a long time, man. Hope things are well there. Haven't seen you in here in a really long time. Like I say, hope you're well. Hope everything's going the way you'd like it to go, man. Appreciate you coming out. T Keys just had on another industry guy that's local to us. If you did not see that show for balls and things, Wednesday night right before ours every week, Whiskey Bomb Network, they had Adam Proper Royals on tonight, and was a good talk, man. Adam's a great guy. And there's the other half of that, the Whiskey Bomb whiz side of it, the crazy owl side of this, the sophisticated switch into ignorance on Saturdays side of it. But good to see you, Wiz. Appreciate it.
You got us there. Mofos.
Yeah. Mofos, yeah. We're the mofos for sure. We got Mark Middlestedt, and that's another great business name out there. Rat Bastard. I like that. That is top 10 for me, man. I appreciate it. But we got to get your stuff sent out here too, Mark. So thanks for coming out. Got Eric Smith. Appreciate you, sir. Thanks for coming in tonight. Good night for tub cleaning. Yeah, you got some talking in the background and stuff to do while you clean. Appreciate it. Jared, Selective Creations. Tuesday nights, got to catch that Genetic Canvas show. They focus on a gene, and they get a couple people in the industry that are also focused on that gene, and they just kind of cover the ins and outs of the whole thing. So
really good show.
Yeah. Absolutely. Mitzi, Jay's got to pull out the concrete hands heart. I can't even do that, but appreciate Mitzi in here every week for sure. Yeah. Mitzi and her hearts. Mm-hmm. We got Darren Cheeks McGee popping in. He's listening while he cleans and does his snake things too. But appreciate you, Darren. Good to see you, man. And Proxima, Mike and Melissa, boy, do they have some nice stuff growing up over there. They've been on a couple different shows recently, and they go end to end on those racks, and it's just nonstop beautiful animals. So congrats to them on their progress. Good, right? What's that?
So their setup they had in their picture there was their setup for vending. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a nice setup, yeah. Jason Philp, appreciate you. And yeah, listen to him. Hit that like button, slackers. I don't know if we need to get too much about that, but yeah, I agree with him. Slackers need to hit that like button. We got John and Chance. I always want to say Chase, man. I do it every week. It's Chance. I got to drill that in my head somehow. Appreciate you, John. All the way from Texas. These guys are awesome. We had them on not too long ago. If you missed that one, go back and see it. You won't believe how far Chance thought he could throw a dwarf. It's pretty so interesting.
Super fun.
So yeah, appreciate those guys for sure. So how we doing on time? How we doing on people? We getting through this?
Yeah, we're getting through it. We have a lot of friends.
Well, we do. That's good. I'm glad people are coming out tonight. A lot of them want to see Billy, I bet. So yeah, we got Big Mike, Rammery Royals. Good to see you and the missus doing the geckos. So that's pretty sweet. And Boyd's or us. Good to see you guys too, man. Appreciate you guys coming out, listening to this great episode. Well, we hope so. Hopefully it's a good episode.
It's going to be a good episode.
Got through it?
Yeah.
It's got to be a good episode. We're all here. We're all smiling and surviving, and we got a hell of a guest waiting back there patiently.
Let's thank Charlie and get Billy Judy out here.
All right. Don't be doing that to him. He's going to be so sick of that. He'll beat you up next time he sees you.
He gave me permission.
Oh, he did. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, now that we got through that, let's just pop this stuff up here real quick. Again, we mentioned it. ForgeCoin affiliates, but we have to say who they are and why they're in this. So got some good names in here. Charlie, shedtesting.com. He's going to take ForgeCoin. Got Chris at B&S too. He'll do it for the Coco. He'll do it for his animals and his merch. ForgeCoin affiliate there. We got Bone Daddy, Vinnie over there. Will do it, I think, for mostly his engraving stuff, his cutting boards and the other stuff he puts under the laser there. We got Mission Morphs, who we just mentioned, John and Chance. They said they would do pretty well anything under their umbrella for the ForgeCoin. Angel Caro, he's going to do 3D printed stuff. So he does all kinds of hides and hooks and perches and shipping stuff, or even custom projects. He said he'd work with you to create custom stuff. So much the same boat as Graceful Pythons up there. That is another Jamie, Stewart, and Carl. They will print custom stuff for you with your logos, different colors, whatever you want, but hides.
They do an excellent job.
Yeah, really nice job. Tub tags. They do custom tub tags for, if something ate or something's ready to lay or ovulating or somebody's stirring their tea or maybe somebody's mixing a mixed drink. And no, they'll do that for their 3D printed stuff. And then we got late ad was Rich. Just talked with him about doing some vending stuff because I liked his setup and where he was getting his stuff. But Rich says, you know what? I'd go in on that affiliates too. So appreciate him out there. Capital City has some amazing animals, crazy logo and merch out there too. So appreciate all of you guys. Really do. Anyone else wants to join that, just let us know. It's a $1 swap. It just gives people a chance to spend their money a lot of different directions, a lot of different ways. So appreciate all those guys. And we'll swap over to Chris because Chris needs a commercial coming up. And he does. He's got Coco2go. He's got the Chipper. And his little boy is quite a bit bigger than that now, but that is the cutest damn kid I think I've ever seen. So we just keep this picture up there because those blue eyes are about melt a person, right? But yeah, amazing guy.
He's a year older now.
Oh, at least. Yeah. Yep. So amazing guy, amazing animals, and great product out there with the Chipper and the Coco2go. Excellent Coco bedding. So appreciate you, Chris, 100% for the sponsorship, man. Thanks again. And that's about it, guys. We're going to get Charlie's shed testing commercial in, and we will be back with Billy in just a couple. So if you need to use the restroom, you don't want to miss Billy, do it now, do it then. I'm going to squeak it in there. See you guys in just a couple. All right. And that was Charlie at shedtesting.com. Anything you need tested, guys, he is quick about it and super personable. I mean, the communication is through the roof. He's going to get a hold of you as quick as he knows. And usually that's only about a week and a half. I mean, it's a quick turn. Yeah. So use them if you can. But yeah, tonight we have, like we had mentioned, an industry legend. I mean, the guy has been around forever. He's made his way all the way from a rough start. He admittedly says a rough start all the way to the top of the pile. Not that it's a competition, but if it were, I mean, this is top tier. This is where you want to be. This is like the cap of the industry. And he's always been more than willing to answer our questions. We've had a couple questions for him, even on unrelated things. Unicity, when you reached out about the Unicity product, he shot you his phone number. I mean, how many people do that, you know? Yeah. Well, here's my phone number. Give me a call. And I know it's like, hey, it's quicker, it's easier to talk to somebody, but still the willingness to do that says a lot about a person. And Billy's always been that way. So we're excited. Hopefully everybody out there is excited to hear a little bit from Billy tonight. And without further ado, Jamie, bye. You're headed back to run some comments, and we're going to bring out the legend himself. So here we go, guys. Billy?
What's going on, everyone?
Welcome to the show.
How are you?
Very good. How are you, sir?
Not bad. Middle of the week, I'm surviving. It's, you know.
It is what it is, right? I mean, and it's a tough time slot, so we doubly appreciate that. I know once we get into like your Eastern time zone, you're sitting an hour before us.
So
yeah,
but I mean, I'd rather do late than early.
Okay.
So late's always good for me.
That works better on your side, I suppose.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because I get more stuff done. Because, you know, even at our Monday show with myself and Craig from Bash Coder, it's like 7 o'clock. So I've got to get the dog ready and fed myself. And it's like, you know, I have another half an hour or 45 minutes of things I could do, but I got to stop it in order to fit everything else and to go from 7 to 9. And then when 9 o'clock is like, you know what? I don't feel like going back and doing anything more. I'm calling it a day. So, you know, here I was like, I got to be ready by, you know, about 7:45, 8 o'clock. I'm like, I better get everything ready now, but I got to, you know, another full day in. So I'm happy. So late works best for me.
Good deal. Well, I'm glad then, because we hear the other side of it too. When we have the East Coast people on, they're like, man, it's the middle of the week. I need to be in bed here quick. So it's, you know, we try to respect that and keep the show tailored and a little bit short, you know, for those people. But now that you said that, we'll just go to midnight, I guess, Billy.
I mean, late works best for me. I know that I've been on a couple of Brian from Snakes. Oh my God.
Snaketorium.
Samson.
Yeah.
Snakeatorium. Thank you.
Yep.
And it's always like 7 a.m. And there's another one that he's going to have too that I said, I can do that, but it's like 7 a.m. So get up, get ready, 7 a.m. start.
That's rough there.
I'm up early too, but I have a routine that I like to do with the dog and eating and, you know, everything else that I get done. But, you know, 7 a.m. is you know, it's rough. You know, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, I can deal with much better.
Yeah. So, absolutely. 7 is bullshit. Jamie even said so back there. The crowd can hear. 7 is bullshit.
Up, man. You gotta, you know, the real troopers are there. And it's amazing because he has a lot of people at 7 a.m. Eastern watching this shit. It's crazy.
Yeah. Right. That's what's crazy. And a lot of those, I bet, are commuters that are just turning on the audio portion of it and they're driving, you know.
All those comments flying in too.
Yeah. It's a good show.
The community, man. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that, honestly, Billy, right out of the gate, when we first got into this, when we started messaging people, we started in Instagram, we started posting some of the things we did, we had maybe 40 followers. And I see Mutation Creation, Billy followed you. I was like, well, what? But you're always out there. Yeah, you're always out there like trying to support new people and keep that fresh, you know, blood coming in, and that's huge.
I mean, it's something where, you know, it's a new time. Everybody getting into the industry now. There's a lot of videos. There's a lot of, now Patreons. There's people doing live streams, YouTube, podcasts. There's so much information out there. And it's much better of what I would call a community of people getting in, sharing information, teaching people, and growing as a whole compared to when we got in. There was no social media at all. Facebook didn't exist, and if you wanted some info, you couldn't say how to read ball pythons. Nothing we had to buy books. We had to wait for the Reptile magazine to come out and get any tips and tad. Everything was so small. Like when I bought from somebody here in Canada, I might have known 30 or 40 people that bred ball pythons. And once I bought an animal from a person, I was now a direct customer. I mean, a customer, but I'm a direct competition from that person in the future.
Sure.
And nobody wanted you to do well because I'm not going to help you really to compete against me in the near future. Yeah. So once the world opened up with social media and you could buy and sell, and it was a lot easier to get paperwork, which was CITES, and do fish and wildlife and import and export, it really opened up where, hey, you know what? I don't just have this small community of 30 customers. I have the world. And there's still people here in Canada. They're like, shipping to the U.S. is a little, it's too much work, and I don't really understand it. I get that because it was, strange and confusing and sort of scary for me back then. But once you get into that, it opens up, instead of having such a small, basically group of people to sell to, now it's worldwide or a good part, at least the U.S. I mean, the U.S., that's the biggest market in the world, I believe, for our industry, reptiles, especially ball pythons. And
I would certainly think so. And that was going to be kind of one of my initial questions for you, because being United States, U.S. citizens forever, and not knowing that other side of things, how did that look in Canada early on? Was it a super narrow group? It seems weird to me for whatever reason.
It's still, as big as our industry is, even in Canada, it's still small compared to, the industry in the United States. And I find here a lot of people don't want to, I guess, invest in themselves, invest in a business. They buy animals and they do it as a hobby, and then they want to take it to the next level, but they don't treat it like a business. They're not investing in their business. They're not treating it like a business. They're not registered as a business. They're not taking advantages of things that you can when you're a business, and especially the investing in it. Not only the infrastructure, like the racks or ultrasounds or anything like that, the animals. And people don't want to invest over $1,000 or so into an animal, but then they get upset when they're not producing high-end animals and not selling, or they see where they'll do what they're doing for several years and they think they're doing okay, and now it's like, shit, I'm so far behind where I'm at, I almost have to start over to catch up. And many people are doing that, and I've noticed that even through my Patreon, when I've been preaching and trying to teach people how to take this to another level. And I came up with that breeder 1, 2, 3 scenario where, hey, this is a breeder 1, here's a breeder 2, and here's a breeder 3. They're both in the same project. This is what they're doing, and here's the pros and the cons. And once people saw it and looked and like, holy shit, I'm doing this wrong. And once I sort of got that out and people started understanding it, they're like, oh my God, this makes perfect sense. And then when you start, throwing things like the cost of every animal, and what every animal costs you, whether you breed your own rats or you don't, and stuff like this. There's a cost to everything. And once you factor that in, now you're actually dealing with business, cost of goods and this. Because I hear people going to shows all the time. Yeah, I made $2,000. Oh, so what did you make gross? Oh, $2,000. well, then that's not your profit because you had to pay
right.
gas, time.
You made $7.
Yeah. You don't know until you have your numbers, right? But
Right.
oh, I don't pay for rats; they're free. Oh, really? Does someone just drop them off? No, I breed them myself. They're not fucking free. Like you gotta
Right.
stop. Like there's a cost to the bedding, the cost to the infrastructure, the racking, whether you built it or bought it. There's a cost. You got to depreciate it over a certain amount of time. There's your labor, and I breed my own rodents now too. And guess what? The bedding isn't free. The food isn't free. The seed isn't free. My labor's not free. Nothing's fucking free. So you don't breed rodents. You know, there's a cost. And you got to understand that cost or you're not going to understand or make it in business. So, you know, it's just trying to get people out there and understand it is something where being where I'm at and been in that time zone where there was no social media, there was no help, there was no real community. Compared to now, it's like, well, I know how shitty it was back then and how tough it was. Well, now with all the technology and knowing and being who I am, why can't I sort of stop people from going through what I had to do? Or say, hey, listen, if you're doing it now, you might have got wrong advice or don't understand it. If you want to take your hobby to a business or to another level, here's how you do it. And
that's a great point though too, Billy, is like you just said it in that sentence. If you're going to take this to that business level and that's your goal and this is where you want to be, that map is how you do it, right? Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, or at least it makes you understand like, oh shit, I'm doing it wrong. And if I continue to do it wrong, it just gets worse for me. Because people think, and I've heard it all the time, yeah, well, I didn't have that great of a year, but next year I'm going to have a better year because I got about another 15 females that should be ready. They're worse than the ones you got now. It can't get any better. It's going to get worse because you're making work. Like, you got to understand, it's not about what you make and how many you make. It's about the quality of the animals you make. Yeah, and absolutely. I'm even at that stage now. I was talking to you behind the scenes. I'm trying to downsize here a little. So instead of doing 250 clutches of a bunch of random stuff, and I want to do maybe 100, 150 of way better stuff. And
really focused in on what's pushing you forward again, right?
And it cuts down my cost, my time, my space, and I can focus more. Because right now you think you're focused, and then another gene comes out or another combo comes out, and that focus is all over the map. Like, you know, it's pretty crazy to stay focused on a project when now you add another recessive to it. Now you can take it to another. It's just spider webs, and you can't handle it. You can't. You got to sort of have some sort of grasp at it, even though it's fucking out of control. But if you have no understanding or game plan, you're already fucking like the spider web is so complex that you don't even know where the hell you are or where to go, or it's just confusing.
That might be what you just said might be the toughest part, because you've got to have the discipline to, if you set a plan forward and now, like you're saying, you're seeing this new morph or whatever, and you're like, oh man, and you're seeing the opportunity, you know, what that can do for you. You have to stay disciplined and stay on your plan, but you also have to be flexible enough to move at the right time too, because you can miss the boat on some of that stuff.
Oh, there's a lot of people, man, like even now it's like, hey man, you got, and you know, they're trying to get into the next level. And I understand not everybody has the budget.
Yeah. Right.
And that's key, is budget. The more you have to invest in these animals at the right time, the more dangerous you're going to be, the better and faster your collection grows. And you maintain that with that same mentality, and then you just expand, and you're moving linear and I guess and upward at the same time. And you know, that's the combination that you need. And I even hit people like, hey man, you know, I'm looking for a powerful male. You have a Batman? And I'm like, dude, you're 5 years fucking late or more. Like, you know, if you're getting a Batman to be your power male, you know, and you're putting it to like your pastel clowns and your pastel-enchi heck clowns, you've already lost, you know. And there's nothing wrong with producing animals you like, but take this to another level in business. When I hit Batmans and combo Batmans, just, like a Batman or an Enchi Batman, pinstripe Batman, pastel Batman, whatever I'm making, that's because and I have those for sale, that's because I missed, or, that's the stuff that I didn't want. When I'm making the combo 3-gene, 4-gene one, that's what I aim for. And my worst stuff that I'm getting rid of is you're trying to make it your best. And people buy animals and they wait a year or two to get them to breed. And when they breed them, then they start looking at what the value's worth. And they're like, oh my God, I paid $2,000 for this. Now they're worth 400. Oh my God. You got to understand the market you're in, the placement and where you're at, where you're going, what you're doing. And I'm trying to make that aware to people because it's key. Because I hate seeing people waste time and money that none of us have enough of. And you get nowhere. And if you do it long enough and not get anywhere and put all that time and money in and feel like you failed, the wind gets out of your sail really fast. And it's like, you know what? I don't want to, I just watched Billy's video or somebody else's. I understand it now, but you know what? I for 5 years, I've just struggled. You know what? Now we got to start all over and do it. Some people say, fuck it, I'm going to do it and move forward, and I'm going to start now, and now I know how to do it. I'm going to move on, and it's going to be the best decision they ever made. And other people like, you know what, 5 years of this, fuck it, I'm done. I'm not starting over. I'm not doing this. And, they just get out. And I see that, and I don't want them to get to that point. I want them to do what everybody did, buy all these animals, wrong combos, more males than females because they were cheap. Wow, get a couple breedings in, and oh, I love this. You're doing it wrong. Oh, fuck. Okay, let me start now. And after a year, realize they're buying the wrong stuff. They're buying males at the wrong time. They're doing this. They're doing that. They're doing this. They're doing that. Oh, shit, none of this is right. Now let me stop and jump on the bandwagon and do it right. And if I can get them within the first year or two, great. 3, 4, 5 years, people are like, fuck this. I can't. And then usually in that time, the longer you're in this industry, this drama, that, let's like on top of this, it's like, you know what?
That's too much.
All of this. Like, this is too much. And it happens. And this is just real, right? Like there's always something. Like I get caught up in drama sometimes, but hey, guess what? It is what it is,
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. A lot of it, giving people perspective is a big, it's a huge bonus for a lot of reasons. It's helping them out, and this kind of goes back to what you were saying, back in the day when people you bought a snake and now you're almost enemies because you're a competitor. But in reality, if you have some perspective on that and you look at it and you understand that anybody you help out, anybody you sell snakes to that's getting started are all potential future customers. So the only way, and I know John said it, I don't know, probably every other episode on here, the only way that we keep this growing is to share that information just like you're doing. Try to help people out so they can be successful. And again, they're all potential future customers. So why wouldn't you do that, right?
Yeah, and I think that's needed because, I spoke to Craig, and he's got a couple awesome things, with a few other amazing people coming to light soon. And one thing that he talked about, and I believe it stemmed from something that Chris Eaton said on Fat Man Nation on one of his lives or something. If we're not bringing new people into the hobby, where are we getting the new life from? Where are we getting the next me, the next you, the next Justin, the next Ozzy, the next person that gets in and fails and gets out? Not everybody that gets in is going to do amazing. So we need people to get in and fail. We need people to do this and do that. But if we can't get new people in or attract new people, we better keep the fucking people in our industry going the fucking right way and doing it right. Because if we lose what we have, because we're fucking not informing people, they're failing because they're getting bad advice, and no new people are getting in, our industry is not growing, it's decreasing.
Yep.
And if we can help the people in it that love it to do it right, and not everybody will listen. I give advice and they don't. And a couple years later, it's like, Billy, I should have listened to you. Well, I mean, that's up to you. I'm giving you advice. I'm here to try to help. Not everything I say is perfect, but I'm trying to make people understand the general concept of taking this and scaling it to a profitable business. If you can't invest bigger dollars in your animals and afford to hold stuff back and sit on stuff to grow, you're not going to do well. You know, and if you're making low end stuff that's already saturated, don't be upset when it doesn't sell and you've got to feed it and house it and clean it, because you put yourself in that position. But that, you know, and then, well, I don't have the $10,000 to buy, you know, animals, you know, and $5,000 animals. Okay, well then, you know, don't breed as much lower end shit, you know?
Yeah.
Because
it's just going to cost you money.
Yeah, if you just want to enjoy it and have animals you like and produce and grow your collection small with limited budget, then do it. But just don't produce 40 fucking clutches of stuff that nobody wants.
Right.
Do 3 or 4.
See, that I think is a great point, because you do see a lot of that. So you can't afford a $10,000 animal, but you're going to get $3,200 animals and breed them. Like, what are you doing? Why would you do that?
But you
see it,
$10,000 a month feeding them.
Yeah,
right.
And the thing is what people don't understand is the racking that's needed just to house the animals. You know,
right.
And that's always time, space, money. It's something that you know, the more you breed and the more you have, that scales your time, your space, and your money. It scales, and it's not in the right direction. You know what I mean?
Yep. So you did touch on something that Craig's kind of mentioned, and he's doing a little bit of a project on and bringing people into. But what is your honest thought on the best process to get interest in this? Even if it's just keeper level, even if it's just more physical pets in homes. Like, I think we're sitting at 13% of people keep reptiles. That's pretty low when you look at other animals, and they're in that 60 to 70% range. You know, we could hit 30, we could hit 40% of households with reptiles.
30 would be awesome.
Yeah. You know, I mean that's where, like, you know, people like Snake Discovery come in. Big YouTube channel. You know, they have a bunch of different species. You know, Emily is more into, you know, educating different species and showing what they do. And I, you know, I've watched a few of their episodes, but they're more out there bringing people in, like Brian Barczyk, rest in peace. There's a lot of people out there. Adam Wickens, he's a Canadian, you know, and you know, he has a big channel now, and he has a big following, and especially, you know, pet people and that are getting in as a pet or wanting to learn about different species, or I like what he does and I have animals here, but he's got some other interesting species that I'll never own, but I like watching and listening and learning and seeing Adam's excitement and about it. And same thing with Emily. They're bringing in new people. Myself, I don't have the time. I'm more of, hey, this is what you are. I curse too much for the kids. If you're interested in taking your hobby to another level or into business, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to tell you how the fuck it is. I'm going to tell you, you know, this is what you need to do. I'm not going to blow sunshine up your ass. I'm going to tell you how it is. If you don't like it, I hurt your feelings. Too bad. I'm fucking giving you the honest truth. And if you don't do it this way, and here it is on paper, look how you do it, figure it out, and you'll see that I'm right, or, you know, I'm on the right fucking path. You just got to make a couple little adjustments to work it for you. But you're not going to make a business out of it spending $200 max on an animal.
No.
You know?
Absolutely.
But I'm going to have 10,000 clutches, and it's going to cost you $4 million a year to house. Fuck it. Like, you're not making money because you don't understand business. It's not the quantity. It's the quality. If you have quality and quantity, you're a fucking monster. But guess what? You don't have the capital to it. Fuck, I don't even have the capital to do that. You know, that's why it's, you know, and chasing some of the stuff where the industry's going, double, triple, quads, quints. You can't have, I'm doing quints. I got a 1.2. Okay. Well, you need a 5.700, or you need multiple females and animals and combos, and people just don't understand how hard it is to hit a triple visual. And then once you do, add some more genes to it. Well, now you got to take the triple visual, breed it to the genes you want in it, raise them up, and if you're making only triple, combo triples, you're 1 in 8 to hit a triple, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
so what's worse than that? And not to interrupt you, but what's worse than that when you go into that and you're pairing that stuff is now you're getting 66s and 50% and 33s and now passes
and people like Charlie, where you can shed your test, you can send your sheds in to get tested and realize a third of these animals I made this year, I don't even need. And no, it's not going to have a big, impact for other people that are breeding at the level that I am, or they need to, keep expanding. So now this is pet quality animals. Let's get rid of that. And now here, but there's a cost to that. You got to realize your cost. Brian Bodie came in from Brian Bodie Reptiles from Vegas. He was here today. So he came and we were talking, and he's like, last year I spent more money shed testing than I did purchasing animals, because he's doing the 66, 50, 50%, and, double hets and triple hets. And and when you do that a lot, now guess what? Add that to the thing. Now there's thousands of dollars and thousands of per year. And but it's better than raising that back or holding it back.
Exactly.
It's crazy. Yep. And that's another thing.
And knowing and not guess breeding. So you're not producing tons of question mark clutch. You know that at least you got the shot. But that's the downside that people don't talk about, right? When you're trying to hit these 1 in 128 odds, how many times are you going to pair and produce animals that literally no one has any interest in because you missed all your hets? Now you've got a yellow belly with no hets because you're trying to hit this triple, right? So in all reality, you're producing more useless animals to some degree in that scenario than the guy pairing 3 pairings. Do you see what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. It's a double-edged sword sometimes shooting for these multiple recessive animals with the
difference. The difference, I would say, is the opportunity at least is there for the payout on it, where the other direction it really isn't. Like you're going to maybe break even,
Sure,
but if you hit on those big ones, man, that kind of takes care of it. And like you said, it is big numbers because you're not going to pair one pair. If you're on a project like that, you need to have 5, 6 pairings if you're going to be at 128 odds.
Yeah, that's what I say to people. It's like, or people, like 2-3 years back, I want to get into the monsoon project. I'll say, okay, so if you want to get into monsoon properly, this was like 3-4 years, I'd say you need at least 50 grand. No, I'm talking about 10. I'm like, what are you going to buy for in the monsoon project when hets were like 4 or 5K a piece? So, to me, you should always, if you're going to get into a project, you should buy at least 3, if not 4 females. So in the monsoon project, they would all be combo hets, right?
Yep.
So if I have 4 combo hets and say they were 4K, 6K, 5K, 7K, you have 24, 25,000 just in the 4. And then the following year, you want to get a monsoon with another gene or 2, which would be 20K for a male. Now they're around 10 or less. But back, a few years ago, so you'd have to have 40, 50,000 for that just to get into it properly. But once you did that male now breeds to 4 of those females, hopefully within the first breeding season, which will be 2 years after, or if you buy the male a year after you buy the females, the following year, that male should be able to get at least 3, 2, 3, 4. 4 would be the better, but the very first breeding of each of those females, you have a 1 in 2 chance of hitting a combo monsoon or a visual monsoon.
Right.
Hell, even if they drop down to $3,000 or $4,000 a piece. So if you bought an animal for 5K, okay, and it gives you, say, 6 eggs. So all 4 of those females lay eggs. So you got 6 times 4 is 24. Half of them should be monsoon. There's 12. Okay. Say you spent $25,000 on a male. So you spent, say $50,000 on this project. Okay. If you're producing them, they be being produced now. If you bought them, years ago, you probably would have had some animals drop last year. But say they're all going this year, all 4 go. You get 6 eggs. There's 12, visual, and most of them will be combo if you did it right, which you should. Now you've got 12. Say those animals now are $6,000-$7,000 a piece on an average between a male and a female, and it also depends on what's gene. Well, what's 12 times 7? 7,000.
Yeah, you're at 84 again, and you've paid off your investment. So
and you're
ahead,
and you still have the original animals.
Yeah.
So if you do it right, know when to buy, know how to buy, you can't really lose. And we're talking about a visual male that you bought, a year or 2 ago for $25,000, and now you're selling them for $5,000 to $7,000. Some of them are going to be 12. Some of them are going to be this. If you start adding, then you take that male also and put it into, a 4 gene dreamsicle or 2 gene dreamsicle. Now you've got combo triple hets, and you got to understand how to do this, and that's the thing. Not many people do, and that's why they're failing. But I'm that guy. I think it's great, and we need new people in this industry, not only to expose them to these amazing animals, to have as pets because they're fucking awesome as pets. They're really soothing. They do, they're great therapeutic animals, in my opinion, for many people, myself included. But I don't think I'm fit. I mean, I bring in a lot of new people in, but I guess it's because of my passion or my hyperness, or people can relate. But I'm not going to.
People relate to you, Billy. You're a regular guy.
Yeah, I'm not meant to talk to 12 and 13-year-olds. I can deal with them in public and say, hey, here you go, and talk to them and not curse. But my YouTube, I'm here to take people in this industry that love it, that want to do better. I want to yell at you and scream at you to fuck. I'm not that. If you go to a gym and you hire a personal trainer and he doesn't scream at you, and it's like, oh, that's okay. Yeah, just keep doing it wrong.
Time to get a new trainer.
And you wonder why a year later you're probably in fucking worse shape than you were when you started. And you've lost money and time. That's exactly what people do with this fucking industry.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I'll scream at you. I'll tell you what to do. I'll look at your collection and say, guess what? With your budget and what you have, you've got 6 too many fucking projects. Start cutting them. And anybody on my Patreon that knows that was at the top 2 tiers that sent in their list, and, I look at it and say, with all the information you're giving me, wow. And it's like you've got stuff.
Start over.
Yeah, you shouldn't have this stuff. Oh, but I want to do this. And it's like, okay, well, if you do this and breed this, your odds this, even if you hit it and raise it back, you may have an opportunity in 7 to 8 years to actually hit the visual. Yeah. It's not worth it's not, especially when you could put that time and money into something else that you have to make it blow up. And I'm just being honest with people. I'm the guy that'll help keep people in this industry to do well and teach them so that they can keep buying and sustaining and growing and learning. For people outside the industry, I'm sure I'll get a few people in, but that's for people like, Adam Wickens, Emily, Snake Discovery.
Gotcha.
Brian was great, had a big following to bring people in. But there's many, awesome YouTubers out there. And at the same time, there's many fucking assholes out there that shouldn't even have a fucking,
Yeah, for sure. There's some of those too, for sure.
And it's horrible. And it's just like, what the fuck are these people doing? Oh my God. And that's the thing, right? You're going to see people, and there's some people that I really don't like what they do and how they teach, or, what they teach. And these people are great. These people are great. And I'm like, where have you been in 3 years? If you were that great, how come you're still producing $200 fucking animals? And You know, it's funny because some of those people aren't around today, you know, but I'm glad that people go and watch and listen to other people and are on other people's Patreon and have people that'll sit there and say, hey, guess what? You know, I heard this, and you know what? I've changed, and I've already seen a big difference, you know, and they give friendly advice to their friends, like, or they talk. It's like, oh, you know, maybe I should try that. I think I did, and it worked really well. We're sharing information and exposing other people to say, hey, maybe I should try it, or like, no, you know, it's very frustrating when you see people give bad advice, and especially when they have a big following. And I'm glad that people sit there and they sort of learn and understand it. And they're like, you know, I've had people call me and say, hey, Billy, you know, I want to talk to you. And I've had a mentor for the last 4 or 5 years, and I think I've surpassed him. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, you know, I understand, and he does well, but when my collection is better than theirs, and their mindset where they just make the same stuff over and sell it, and they never upgrade their collection or reinvest. They just keep pounding the same thing over with numbers and numbers. And if they do, well, great, but you're never gonna grow your business. I'm not gonna be excited making freeways 9 years in a row. You know what I mean? Like, you can't keep making the same stuff over and over and expect your passion and your collection to grow. I don't want to make the same thing over and over just so I don't want to be a production line. Oh, I got to make 30 of these,
exactly,
20 of those, and I'm going to sell them. No, I want to make shit and hit for myself, and whatever's left for you guys. That's where I like to be. And if you put yourself in a position where the stuff you miss is pretty good for people that want to upscale too, you're doing amazing, you know?
Right. Yeah, your byproduct is still sought after. That's where you want to be.
But we do need new people in this industry, and it's such an amazing industry. And I would say 80% of the people in our industry now got in it by what? Snakes? Oh my God. Or they went to a show and like, oh my God. And they just fell in love and started learning and got into the community, and it took off. So we need more of those people to get hooked like we did and understand. And, you know, now I love doing this. I love these pets. I want to start breeding. I want to start making connections. Oh, I got so many friends now. Oh, I want to start breeding my own rats. It is so much knowledge and education and stuff that's out there and people willing to help. Now people get on this, and now I'm involved in a community. I've got things going on. This is amazing. But you really need to know where you are and what you're doing. Like, are you a breeder 1? Great. This is your cap, and you're probably losing money, you know? Yeah. And if you're a breeder 2, great. If you're a breeder 3, there's probably a breeder 4 level. I don't even know if I'm there yet. Like, but there's stages to it. But I'll tell you, if you're a breeder 1 and you have breeder 1 animals and you breed 1 million animals, you're losing your shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, going backwards as you work. Yep.
Yeah, it's funny because this is one of the few, when you start looking at people owning animals, one of the few areas where you find people that are in that weird middle where they're breeding, they don't really even have a desire to make a business out of it. You know, they want to maybe make enough money to pay for
their
what
hobby.
they're doing, and they're totally happy with that. And you don't see that a lot. You don't see it really with dogs. People that usually breed dogs are actually in it to try to make money, or people that I've known. But we know a lot of people in this industry that are, they're creating a decent amount of snakes every year. Nothing huge, but enough where you need to concentrate a little bit because somehow you have to pay for it. And no desire to really go past that, which I think is actually kind of cool. As long as you can maintain it, right?
Yeah, not only that, if you love something and you do it, you don't even need to make money at it. If I'm doing something and I love it and I have to throw money at it all the time, I'm going to keep throwing money at it because my money is being used to fuel my passion or my enjoyment or the love of the animals, right? Yep. But it's where people sit there and go, oh, I'm only doing this, I don't do this for the money. like, you know what? Like, be real. Like, come on. Like, oh, I'm not doing this for the money, but you're trying to hit 100 clutches a year. What, like, come on. Like, just be honest. Like, there's nothing wrong with breeding to make money.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is to do it right and make money and get to a big size, the time, the cost, it's not fucking easy. People will come in that come in and go, oh my God, I want to be this one day. Like, be careful what you wish for. A lot of shit. Like, I live and breathe this stuff. Like, it's not let me take a month off and no. And there's many people that do this full time, or even to a level where they could be full time. They're just they're building. And they're doing this like a full-time job, 20, 30 hours, 40 hours a week. That's a full-time job, but you're not making money from it. You keep growing. You're doing the rats to keep costs down. You're doing this. Mm-hmm. You're investing your 30, 40 hours a week, which is a full-time job almost, at 40 hours, yes, to invest and breed, to save money, to raise animals up, and you're putting in time for a future goal, for something that will pay off and benefits down the road with a better collection, better animals, growing your passion, and a better payday. But you got to understand that you need that. You can't just go and breed rodents and breed this, snakes and other stuff and have this 30, 40 hour a week thing and take a month off or take a week off. You put yourself in that position. You can't just get to where you're putting in 30, 40 hours and take 2-3 weeks off. It's not like you can't just say, oh, hey, it's not like one dog where it's like, hey, I'm going away. I'm going to have a dog in a boarding kennel, or I'm going to give it to a friend for the week. Cool. How do you have somebody come over to do what you do and do it right? Like, you can't. And I had friends that went away and they had people that have helped them before. Came back, fucking disaster.
Disasters.
And it's like, wow, it didn't happen before, but it always happened once. Just like, with the FedEx dilemma. I would always ship before COVID, the first week of December, out to Ham, out in Europe, and into the United States. And I'd even bring animals in. And that was my, my last shipment of the year was always the first week of December. And I did that for 5-6 years. To Europe, back to the USA and back, always. Well, with COVID and the number of stuff and people couldn't, everything because shipping and Black Friday and Cyber Monday and everything just started escalating. They couldn't handle it. Well, I did a shipment. Animals went to the States, fine. My animals coming back in, disaster. They froze on the runway. They were over. Crazy. Oh, so now I don't do that. But just because it worked in the past doesn't mean it'll always work. There's always going to be something. There's always going, you always got to prepare for the worst. Don't put yourself in a negative, I can't do that because this could happen, because that's just wrong. But there's always something that can happen or go wrong. So,
you mentioned that, and I know you've brought this up before, but talk about some of the resiliency and how you turned that around and how you decided this isn't going to beat me. This isn't going to take me out of this. I'm going to tough this out and I'm going to get through it. Talk about some of those scenarios and what you had to do to collect yourself back up, because people have those. People just starting out have those, and they don't get past it. They don't know how to get past it. So what would you say to that group?
Well, I mean, it's like advice I give on what should I buy? What should I pair? Well, it's a loaded question because I need all the parameters, or, I want to have as much information as I can to give you a proper analysis of all that info directed towards you. So,
well, how about an example of something that just kind of put you like really on a teeter point and you just said, this is where I got to decide. I'm either in this or out. Like what
well, you're
pushed
always
you
going to
through
have,
that?
like, I haven't, thank God, I haven't had an issue where my incubator went nuts and fried everything that was inside. I know a person here had a problem, and I don't know if it was the thermostat or something went wrong, and it cooked everything that they had. It was their very first year of breeding. And everything they've invested, and finally after that 2-year, 3-year wait, raising the animals up, putting, viable eggs in an incubator. Wow. And it wasn't when it was only 1 or 2. It was when he had like 7 or 8, maybe even 9. And some of them were actually, he actually pipped. They actually pipped, and he cut the rest. And he's like, wow. And he left them in the incubator like most people do. The incubator fucked up. So not only did his very first hatchlings ever, after putting in all the time and money, come out and, oh my God, I did it, yay! And then all of his stuff that was better and stuff that he really wanted to hold back, and that stepping stone to year 2, year 3, and the way you're supposed to do it. Everything in that one incubator, fucking traumatized. And it's like, wow. And
that's rough.
I haven't been there like that, but I've had clutches that went bad or something happened, and it's like, damn, now I got to put another year in.
Yeah.
It's like anything else, man. Nothing is guaranteed. There's a lot of people recently that have been in car accidents. Troy from Balls and Strikes.
Yeah.
They were in a car accident. Brittany from Fire Baby. And it wasn't even their fault. They were just driving, doing their thing, and holy shit, like, you could be paralyzed, you could lose your life. That there's so much shit that can happen that we're not even thinking about,
Sure.
And anything can happen, and you've got to push through. It's be prepared for the worst, because it can happen, and that'll show your character too. If shit hits the fan, and it will, nothing's perfect. You got to sit there and dig deep and say, wow, I got to start all over again, or, oh, wow, this sucks. And yeah, it sucks. But if you sit and dwell on it and blame yourself, or, most people don't blame themselves. They blame everybody else. Oh, it was the manufacturer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, take the fucking blame for yourself, because no one else gives a shit about you blaming other people.
Yeah.
You put yourself in that position. And a lot of times, too, I've even seen it where I'd go and I'd open up a drawer and take a snake out, and I'm like, holy fuck, it's cold. What the hell? And I touch the heat pad. I'm like, well, it's not even on. And I look, and oh shit, my thermostat's off. Yeah. Oh my God, like, how long's this been? Like, I don't even know. Like, it could have been a week. I don't know. But thank God I have high ambient, right? So
I think about that all the time. We had a close call actually with the incubator one year where the fan locked up. Right. So you still got current running through it, and it's just heating those coils up. And luckily we caught it, before it went too long, but the temp went way up in there really quick.
I was shocked how much heat that fan motor put off when it was froze. It froze, and man, that thing was just cooking in there. I'm like, God, when we had no way to know it, no alarm in there, because the probe just stopped heating the elements, right? It's like, hey, it doesn't need to heat. But nothing to tell us it was going off the charts. So safety, put those in, right? Get your cameras, get your GoVs, get your sensors and things that can alert you when you're not sitting right by the thing. I mean, you learn that, and thankfully, like Jay said, it wasn't catastrophic. I mean, we had a lot of clutches in there, but we caught it, right? But if we hadn't, that's our whole season,
I'd have gone a good day or so, man. Oof.
Yeah. In the industry, no matter how much money, how much time, how much work, how much passion, how much you pray, how much you want it, you're not guaranteed. And that goes with success. I don't think I'm as successful as I should be. I am, but I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm correcting them. I don't have anybody guiding me. I'm making my own mistakes, catching them hopefully as fast as I can. And plus, your mental thought and your mental being really has a lot to do with it. Like, if you're not strong enough or motivated or positive enough to push yourself and get smacked in the face and keep walking forward, this might not be an industry for you.
Yeah, it's true. It's tough.
You're going to get wrong sexes. You're going to get animals that die or get a disease, or you get fucked over for the genetics. There's stuff that's there where you get a partho clutch that they're no good. You get animals that don't breed or didn't breed this year, slugged out, reabsorbed. Oh my God. And it's very challenging for everything that we have to deal with. And I tell people, if you can control all the factors that you can control and roll the dice on the ones you can't, is a hell of a lot better than just rolling the dice on fucking everything. Right. Do this and do you need a game plan. But it's hard because, I've made a lot of mistakes. And it affects you. But if you change it and bounce back, time and that effort, you should be more successful of the thing that you just overcountered or overcame. And it's funny because on my Patreon, and it's free, I have a Monday and a Wednesday sort of like free. If you want to join for free, you get the Motivation Monday and Left and Right, which is Wednesday. And the Motivation Monday, which of course I had other things to do. I didn't put one up this week, but they're positive sayings. I put up some videos, motivational speaking, and you got to do this. Success isn't earned. You got to earn that shit, and it's not guaranteed. And you could put in all the money, all the effort, all the passion, and everything else, and you may not even be successful. So it's funny because I watch these things now, and I post them to people, and I never watched them before when I needed it. I got my push from, I ain't fucking failing. I want this to happen. You know what? It sucks to fail. I'm going to fucking do better. I'm going to make this happen. And I've done it. And now I look back and it's because I wanted it so bad, and I pushed, and I put all my effort in, and everything I had I put in, and the time, and no weekends, and lost better halves. Sorry, it's me or the snakes. Bye. I had to make, and I've sacrificed a lot, and those sacrifices got me to where I'm at today. Not many people can do what I do, right? And then there's stuff that other people have done that I don't think I can do. So. Don't try to compare yourself or be like someone else. You've got to deal with, who you are and what you're capable of, and try to push through that. Everybody's boundaries and hurdles are different than other people's. My hurdles might be fucking 9 feet high, and some people are 7. But I'll get over the 9 feet, and these people can't. I can't. It's 7 feet high. I just got over a 9-foot, motherfucker. Don't fucking tell me you can't. You're giving up. And that's the thing, right? Not everybody has it in them. But watching these videos, and I'm sitting there going holy shit, I wish I watched this stuff when I got here. But I can tell you when they say, oh, you know what, you have to make sacrifices. You may lose, people in your life. You wake up and you do this, and you cut this out and do this. And I'm looking, I'm like, holy fuck, yeah, that's what I had to do. But if you watched it brand new, it's I ain't giving up my weekend. Fuck that. Well, you're never going to get anywhere. You wonder why you're still in the same spot. You got to sacrifice. You got to want it. And
so those links are below for anybody that needs to be yelled and cursed at by Billy on Motivation Monday. Those links are below too, so they could jump over and check out your Patreon and all that.
Something where you watch it, and I get so many people hey man, Billy, thanks for today's Motivation Monday. I needed this kick in the ass. And a lot of it's people that are successful, they started off in a garage or a basement, and they sacrificed and did this. They didn't have weekends. It's success is of course in the eye of the beholder. My success to where I'm at, many people if I be as big as Billy and have what he has, I'm successful. I think I'm more. I think I'm greater and not only in what I'm doing now, but in other things from where I'm sitting today. So success for some person that might own a snake, their success is getting a female and a male breeding and getting a clutch and hatching them out. That's success. And of course it is. For them it is. It wouldn't be my success because I've done that 1,000 times. So everyone's success is different. And if you think you have to have a big facility and a big name and a YouTube channel and everybody knows your name to be successful, and that's not what you want or where you want to be, don't let somebody tell you that you're not successful compared to what like my level or where I want to be and what I think I am to be successful shouldn't be what yours is. Everybody has their own level of success. And I say this to me has cost me loved ones, friends, family, my time, some of my hobbies like golf, camping, everything. I've given a lot of that up because I've never had a weekend. I've worked 7 days a week, and I've done this for the last 12 years, maybe even 13, since, I started from nothing and I was homeless. I started all over. And I sacrificed 13 years to be where I'm at now, and I don't regret it. I've made a lot of mistakes, but there's a lot of stuff I wish I did, or I could have done it, or I didn't do it. Now I'm at the point where look where I'm at. Everyone knows my name in this industry. I want to do things differently. I want to have more time to myself. There's a lot of things that I'm trying to plan and change. But I think the drive, right? The drive in that to do this, the drive to be at whatever you determine success is for you, and the drive to go on when there's problems all comes from within for the most part. I think, some motivational stuff can help, but I think what really helps is for people when something bad happens and they can relate it, right? So they can hear that Billy went through, and people look up to you in this industry, and they can hear that you went through these tough times. You had these huge struggles that you got through, and that helps because everybody, human nature, man, something goes wrong and you tend to think, woe is me, why has this only happened to me? And to hear that it's happening to other people is helpful. And a lot of people don't like sharing that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you one thing. Am I successful business-wise? Yeah. To be known around the world for what I do? Yeah. To have an amazing collection and love what I do? Yeah. I mean, I'm successful. But I haven't had a weekend. I've lost loved ones and family. You know what success to someone else is? Hey, I have a small collection, brings me, 20, 30,000 extra income a year, pay for itself. I still spend the weekends with my family. I get to do this. I get to do that. To me, if that's what that person thinks is successful, spend weekends with their family, have a side hustle, that's fucking success to them, and nobody should shit on it. Because
absolutely,
I'm successful, but I've lost friends and family. I've had no weekends. I've sacrificed 13 fucking years from when I got screwed over to where I'm at now. And I'm even making changes now for my success to be successful in other things and moving forward. But, my success should not be someone else's. Everyone has their own unique success and their own definition of it. Because 100%. I've lost a lot of people that I've loved. I've lost a lot of my life and things that I would have loved to done over the last 13 years. I sacrificed that to have what I have now. But I made that choice. Don't think you've got to, I'm going to get rid of my family and, fuck you guys. And I got to do this because I got to be. No.
It's individual. Yes.
It's to the individual. And you can't say somebody that, you don't have professional racks. You know what? Like, you do what you do for you, and if you're happy and content with what you have, fuck what everybody else says. It really is. And your drive should be driven by what's in you and what you want and what you think and how you feel, not what someone else is telling you to do. I might be telling you guys to do this and do that, but I'm giving you advice because you want to go to the next level. Here it is. I'm not telling you, hey, you don't have ARS racks yet? Go borrow 50 grand and go buy them. Like, I'm pushing you to the next step. And where you take that or how you take it or how big you take it or how long you do it is totally up to the individual. I'm just giving you that stepping stone. It's like, hey, if I'm going to push in the right direction, here the fuck it is. Now you're at a point where you need more pushing. Here the fuck it is.
Absolutely.
And you just want to have animals to keep and love, enjoy, spend with your, and have time with your family to enjoy these as pets. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Yep. But if you're going to get into this as a business, you got to know what the fuck you're doing, because you don't want to waste time and money. I'm the guy to tell you, or at least push in the right direction, or 100%. One of those people that you can listen to. Everyone has their own way of teaching or, explaining things. And you shouldn't just take just one part. Like, you should get multiple ways of understanding or learning, and figure out what works best
what works for you. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Tailor it to yourself. Yep. Yeah. Tailor it to yourself.
Me like, this guy's too aggressive. Then find someone else to talk to you softer. You know what I mean? Like, hi, how you doing? Well, you know what? I mean, if you're gonna fuck up and you want my help, I'm gonna scream at you because you did it wrong. Or like, hey, you know what? Like, come on.
Well, somebody's about to talk to you softer in just a minute here, Billy. We've got Jamie, who's going to be really nice to you, but we're going to make the transition, and we're going to transition into some things you hinted at, because I am curious. You've said it on a couple of different shows recently, and you even kind of hinted at it tonight, but I'm curious to see what some of these changes you kind of, I don't want to say you beat around the bush, but you're not real direct in like what your plans for 25 are different from what you have been doing. Yes, I see that, Eric.
I want to give a huge shout out while I'm here. Fellow Canadian.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice.
Gerald, what's going on?
Yeah, Gerald's a good shit, man. I like him. But
yeah.
On the other side of this hot seat, we're going to touch on some of that, and I'm going to try to get some of that info out of you, because you've hinted at it, but you won't outright say it. So maybe we can get one piece of that info. But hot seat time it is. Are you familiar with this at all, Billy?
I've been on other people's hot seats, so go ahead.
It's just random shit, but Jamie's fairly nice. Good luck over there, sir. Protect your pants. There's a fire under you. So here we go. Hot seat time, guys.
It's time to play the game. It's time to play the game. Let's go.
Are you ready, Billy Jilly?
I am.
Oh, this is fun. I just ask you 20 random
fun
questions.
For you, maybe. We'll see how fun I think it is afterwards, right?
They're just silly and childish,
That's
but it's
right.
fun. People get to learn you.
Probably get along well.
All right, here we go. French fries or onion rings?
Depending. But I like both. But I would say if I had to choose one, I usually do fries over onion rings. But you need the switch. You need, you got to have one. You got to mix it up.
Yeah, and there's so many types. There's wedges and skinny fries and crinkle cut and waffle fries.
Oh yeah, waffle fries are pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
And I like fries when you put like Cajun spice on it.
Heck yeah.
Bomb. And there's also sweet potato fries.
Yeah, those are good if they're cooked right.
I couldn't have sweet potato fries every time. So everything in moderation.
Question number 2. What is the weirdest thing you've ever Googled?
Weirdest thing I've ever Googled. That's a good question. I don't know.
Have you ever Googled yourself, Billy Jilly?
Oh yeah, I've Googled myself. Of course I have. I've Googled myself. Weirdest thing. That's weird because there's always stuff that I hear and I'm like, what does this mean? Or I've done like, especially now, I guess it's my age. I mean, I'm older now and there's all this slang. I'm like, what the fuck is BS, NDM, do? Like, and I'm typing it in like, what does this mean? I'm like, oh, okay. Like, so, but that's not really weird. It's just stuff that I don't know.
Right. It's a little weird. We could accept it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure a lot of the stuff I Google is weird, but it always has a premise. It's always something that I'm trying to learn or I heard or I'm like, what the fuck word is this? I don't know, what does this mean? And so it's more of a learning thing, right? Not just like, I'm bored, let's see what Google has.
Yeah, for sure. Lizards or geckos?
See, that's such a huge range. I mean, I
I
love my
know.
geckos. I've got 4 different types I breed. Um, but the lizards are cool, man. Like, I think I'm gonna go lizards because there's just way more of a variety of them, and there's just so
Okay.
many cool fucking lizards.
Yeah, yep. I know. This is fun. Billy, would you rather stay young physically or mentally?
No, young physically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we could go on a rabbit hole with that, but we're gonna just stay right there. What did you want your job to be when you were a kid?
Pilot.
Oh, did you ever pursue that at all?
I did, but I had an issue with the same issue that I have from not going into the States when I was 19. So that issue prevented me from joining the Canadian Air Force.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. We should talk more about that backstage. Painful truth or a comforting lie?
Painful truth.
After watching the show, I knew you were going to answer that way, but prior, I didn't. What's your all time favorite movie that you've seen a million times?
Oh, Die Hard 1, The Natural. The Natural with Robert Redford was awesome.
Yeah.
Um, Cape Fear.
Yep.
There was one too that I just love, but a show that like Sopranos, I of course everybody loved, but one that really got me into that, even to this day of all these series, is The Shield.
Okay. I don't think I've seen that one. Have
Yeah,
to check it out.
it's pretty badass, and like that was one of the originals. The Shield, it's friggin' awesome. It was just one of those wow. Then Sopranos came out, and
Yeah.
Breaking Bad and all this, and they're
Yeah.
the same ones that do. I just caught up. I did 12 seasons of Chicago PD,
Yep.
and it's the same person that made The Shield. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
some pretty
Very
cool
good.
characters. Sons of Anarchy, all that kind of shit.
Yeah, for sure. Checking it out. It's on the list. Are you going to go for a morning jog or an evening walk?
I'd probably do morning jog.
If you won the lottery, what would be the first thing you would do?
Say that again.
If you won the lottery, what would be the first thing you would do?
Depending on how much. How much? Give me a number.
60 million.
60 million. I would probably invest 10 million into my business, my hobby, more animals, infrastructure. I'd spend another 10 million supporting good friends, family, and people to give them a boost.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little more. And I would invest in things that I wanted, just pay off. But I'd also keep probably 25 or 30, half of it, in something that just I could live off for the rest of my life and not touch the.
Absolutely.
But I
That's a
definitely
great
put a
one.
big chunk.
Yeah.
Like if I said if
Into-
I won 5 million, I'd be putting 4 million in my business
Right.
because I live and breathe it. Now, as of today and moving forward, it might change. It might be 1 or 2 million and keep. But up to this point, it was always, if I won 5 million, 4 million is going into my business because of my
Right.
drive and what I wanted to do. And I probably may still, because if you do invest it right, you do well. But the business isn't great and the hobby is that no. I mean, there's still money out there. If you do the right stuff, you're doing okay.
Absolutely.
And we're in a bind now. We won't be in years from now. And this is
Right.
the 4th recession I've been in. In the 25 plus years I've been in it, we bounce back. And it's
Yeah.
not just the
Every
reptile
time.
industry. Like there's, it's the world. The world's in recession,
Yeah. History repeats itself for sure. Would you rather be able to travel everywhere for free or eat anywhere for free?
Oh, travel for sure. 100%, no doubt.
Yeah. Yep. What is something you've never been good at doing?
Something I've never been good at doing.
Yep.
Wow, these are good questions. Never been good at doing. Answering hot seat questions.
I think you're doing a great job.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, you know. Oh yeah, I guess artistic. Yeah, I'm not very artistic. I'm creative, but I just don't have that artistic. But
Yeah.
you know, I'm good with my hands. I can build stuff. I've been a carpenter. I can build. I know I can read blueprints. I understand it.
But you can't draw it.
But I can draw it, but I just can't, like, you know, I guess being artistic. And I probably couldn't sing. I probably, you know, singing and being like artistic. And I think singing is being artistic too. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Good answer. Good answer. Brand name or generic?
Oh, brand. I'm a brand whore.
For clothes and food?
Yeah, I work, especially food. Like, you know, food, you get what you pay for. And there's a big difference from like even like a steak from a keg. You guys have the keg in the U.S.?
Nope. I've never heard of it.
You know, like you guys must have Outback Steakhouse or Fridays or TGIF. A steak from there is not the same as a steak from like a steakhouse, you know, and you pay 4 times as much as the steakhouse. But I mean, it's just like, wow. One of my favorite places to go to is Ruth Chris. Have you ever heard of Ruth Chris?
I have not.
Ruth Chris Steakhouse, phenomenal. And that's not even like a 10. But
how do you order your steak? Do you want to hear a funny story?
Mine's medium, always medium.
The first time I went out to eat and ordered steak, they asked me, how would you like it? And I was young. I was a teenager and I was like, right away? I didn't know there was rare, medium, well.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because here's one for you too, Jamie. So when you go to a steakhouse, okay, or any place when you eat a steak, and when the waiter comes over, right, after you've had a few bites, a good restaurant, a waiter would come over and says, how did you find your steak? You know what you say to them?
What?
It was easy. It was right beside the potatoes on my plate.
That's so good.
That's them all the time. How did you find your steak? Oh, it was easy. It was beside the potato on my plate. Dad joke.
All right. Would you rather fight a kangaroo or a badger?
I'd probably want to kick the shit out of the fucking kangaroo. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like it wants, like, you know. I mean, a badger, I think, you know, I don't think you could fight it. You'd have to kick it or some shit. I'd rather box this thing and give it kicks to the head. I don't know. Not that I want to beat up a kangaroo, but I think it would give me a hell of a fight. You know what I mean?
It'd be a good watch, too.
I'd fuck him up so hard I'd stick his own head in his own pouch. You know what I mean? I'd fuck it up. It would be. You get pay-per-view that shit. I'd be a billionaire.
Okay.
I really would.
I'm going to have to rethink that question in the future.
Yeah, true. But, you know, I'm not saying I'm not going to get a couple fucking knocks. I might have a couple black eyes and shit, but I'm going to fuck that fucking kangaroo up. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't quit.
That's so good.
That kangaroo's going to go, what the fuck? This fucking guy. It's going to come at me. I'm just going to get like, wow. Yeah. What?
That's so funny. Okay, next question. Documentaries or reality TV?
I'm more of the documentaries. Reality TV, to me, I mean, there's some that are good and other ones are just like, why are we fucking giving these fucking people their time of day? Like, these people need to, you know.
It's too
it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Would you rather have super sensitive taste or super sensitive hearing?
What?
Would you rather have super sensitive taste or super sensitive hearing?
Say that again?
I didn't get it.
Got you, Jamie.
I'm dead. Okay, bye. No.
Woo.
Oh, just kidding. Not kidding.
Oh. Well, it's
Okay.
funny because when it went over your head, your hair never even moved.
Right? It was.
Um,
Oh, okay. It's so
I would
hot in
probably,
here.
I would do the taste because if you had super sensitive hearing, there's so much shit I don't even want to fucking hear right now in this world. And to make it even more and more, hear more of it, or, you know what I mean? Like you're sitting
Yeah,
here and,
I hear
someone's
ya.
taking a dump in the bathroom and I'm like, oh, God. And a lot of times too, when you hear shit, your brain actually starts, you can taste and smell it. Like, someone's
Yeah.
puking and you hear it, you're like, you can almost, like, you hear someone fart, you're like, you're 20 feet away, but you think he can smell it. Like, yeah, I don't want nothing to do with that.
Yeah, same.
Crazy.
Same.
Yeah, hell no. Hell to the no.
I love how your brain works. Wow. Okay. If you could hang out with any cartoon character, who would you pick?
Oh, Jessica Rabbit, for sure. I wouldn't be hanging.
Why?
I'd be hanging. I bet, she'd be hanging. I could know. Jessica fucking Rabbit. Oh my God. Here's a true story. When Jessica Rabbit, which is Roger Rabbit, okay, when that movie came out, I was probably 17, 16 years old. And they didn't have it in Canada. They weren't airing it. So I hopped on with my girlfriend at the time on a bus and took a fucking Go bus or whatever the bus it was at the time from, into the U.S. to go see it in a Buffalo theater. Wow. And then I bought the shirts and this and the fuck. Yeah. I love that movie. It was just awesome.
That's cool.
But yeah, Jessica Rabbit back in the day was damn. Like, yeah. But anyways.
Right.
A little too much info, but hey.
Nope, that's all good. It's good. If you could witness any historical event, which one would it be?
Oh, wow. Any historical event. See, there's so many. And there's so many I'd love to see for certain reasons, but they're not, historical event. Yeah, these aren't easy. What's your favorite color? Green. Like, yeah, what's your favorite historical event? Yeah, I don't even know.
The best answer so far that we've had for this question is the sinking of the Titanic.
I got front row seat too. Yeah, I'm on it.
That's so funny. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Okay.
But it would be way, way back in time. Like,
Yeah, something, way back. Okay. If you could talk to little Billy, what advice would you give him?
Oh. I would probably invest my time and money more wisely. I've always had, my time and my money spent for things that I liked. I've done a lot of things. I've had a very, experienced life. I've done very well. But there's things that I wish, because now I think I've wasted more time and money than I should have. And I realize that, money I can always make and spend and keep, but the time is one thing that I wish I used more wisely.
Yeah. Yep. Good answer. Yeah. Good answer. What is your favorite part about Mutation Creation?
I would say, I guess my favorite thing, I don't know if it's the right thing to say, but for me, when I changed my name that I had before to Mutation Creation, that was like in 2008, 2009, I believe. I never thought, from having it in my basement in a room that I built with melamine racks, I would ever scale to where I'm at now, that everybody in this industry, or pretty much everybody, knows who I am one way or another, what I've built, how I've 20 some odd years later, I still love it, and I'm still passionate about it. And I guess it hasn't changed me. Like it's always been the same. If you go back 5, 6, 7 years, I'm always trying to shout people out and try to help people. Or so I guess it's a bunch of things. But just seeing where I am now from where I was, I never thought like I'd be YouTube, all over YouTube. I'd have such a big following. I'd have such a, there's so many people. Oh, I watched you, and you're the reason I got into ball pythons, or because of you, I did this, or it was because, and it's just amazing that Mutation Creation and myself can utilize what I've done, my failures, my success. And I can share it with people. Yeah, and I didn't start it. I started it because I wanted to breed, and I loved what I did. I never thought I'd be where I'm at now, or even starting with myself with a little gimbal and my cell phone, and then Austin holding it, and then getting him to talk because he'd be like.
That's funny.
It's so distracting, and just the whole thing from when it started as a concept, Mutation Creation, and to where it is now, and people will see my eyeball in a dragon or on a sign somewhere, and it's like, oh, Billy, this reminded me of you. It's crazy, how it's just taking myself to somewhere I never thought I could be, and having amazing people, just watch me being who I am. Yeah. Take it or leave it. This is how I am. I haven't changed. I'm the same in person as I am on camera, and just people seeing what I love,
inspire people,
and inspire them, or help them, or save an egg, or just be there. Like I just love all of it. Like I really do.
Yeah. Very good. Good answer, Billy. The last question for you is, what would you like to be known for?
Oh, I mean, I want to definitely be known for, and I think I've already done that now. I just want to be known for being, someone positive in the industry, whether it's for the, little things I can do for the shout outs of the shirts, or, pick of the week, or even doing the mail and giving people shout outs, inspiring people, the sticker swaps, and the sticker ceiling, now the sticker wall, anything like that. And most people now are doing it, right? And I was one of the first people to do that, and I was I think the very first person to cut with big scissors, and 10 years I've had people shit on me for it, and now it's a common thing, right? And it's just the inspiration that I give to people, or I just want to have people know that, hey, this is somebody, and people can watch down the road and still see, and I'm not going anywhere, but I definitely would like to be known as somebody that was a positive for our industry, even though, oh, he cuts, or he, whatever. I'm being me. I'm real. I'll tell you how I feel. I'm not going to, if I don't know something, I don't know it. I'm not going to try to make it up. Right. But I just want to be known for being someone genuine, and someone that loves doing what I do, and just passing it on, and hoping other people can do well and be successful also.
I think you're doing that.
Yeah, and that's what I've always been doing it, right? Yeah. And that's the thing. There's a lot of things like that I've brought to the table, or I've come up with, or myself and the team, even going back with Austin and Lion and Alex and Catherine, and now there's Jeff and Ryan and Phil, and there's so many people, like part-time people that are in. It's always passed on, and what they've learned from me, I've seen it, how they're successful now. And I think I've taught a lot of people to be successful and sort of mimic my ways and do the same to sort of, inspire others, and not just, me, and close the doors, and, to help other people.
Yeah,
And,
for sure.
and it's just been awesome. So, I think that's one thing that should be contagious in our industry, is knowledge being passed down, and help, and, and that come on to the new people coming in, because if new people get in and no one's helping them and they fail, they're going to get out as fast as they got in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
trying to be
Very
positive
good.
all the time too.
You passed the hot seat with flying colors, Billy. that was fun for me.
Awesome.
I'm going to pass you back over to the guys. They got some more questions to drill you with.
Cool. Wonder if they have a kangaroo ready.
Right? Put them up. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. Don't forget to hit that like follow,
button,
share, and subscribe button for us.
There we go. Thanks,
All
Jamie.
right.
That might be,
dude,
in the top 2 at least, the hardest I've laughed backstage, man.
I had to keep muting myself because I know you guys can hear it. The audience can't, but dude, I was in tears when you wanted to fight a kangaroo.
Well,
I'm like, God damn it.
I mean, fuck that. I'm going to...
I was with you, man. They just look like something you got to fight, right?
It does. I mean, you know what? They look like they'd kick your ass. So I want to,
They do.
And I want to challenge. But
Yep, absolutely.
It's not going to end well for that fucker. I'm positive.
So good, dude. So good. I was literally in tears, man. I had to mute myself, like I say. But well done, man. That was awesome. Although I will say, Jamie did she kind of pruned her questions to make them harder on you. It felt like, 'cause she gave you some gems.
Yeah, there were some, but they were great, because it's not like, it was not not the usual questions you'd expect. They were all like, oh wow, cool.
Yeah, really, really tough one. Yes, us too. I don't know if that's Alicia or the counterpart, but yeah, I can't quit picturing that. That would be something else, man. So I'm going to have to AI that maybe and shoot you one on Instagram, Billy.
Yeah, there you go.
So before we went into the hot seat, and again, I don't know, if you have a lot of this solidified, if you've made definite decisions on directions and things you're going this year, but you've kind of hinted at, I'm going to do things different. You've already talked about maybe, hey, cutting back on some of your pairings, doing less clutches, but what are some of the main changes and moves that you see for yourself in 25? I mean, we're right at the start of it, so you got this whole year to kind of...
Well, I mean, so a lot of my pairings now, which is great, because, the stuff I'm pairing now, the stuff I'm pairing next year, it's better than what I'm pairing last year. Like, it's always, some of the, I still am in the same projects, but I have better animals to add more genes, or to have better odds at hitting what I want. But as far as, since COVID came, here I did almost every single expo that was here, and it's usually once a month. And then we have the big one in September. And before COVID, I would go and I would, sell a lot of animals and do that. And then when COVID came, I still produced a bunch of stuff that I had, and I'm like, oh, hopefully that, the shows would open back up. So I kept breeding to make some stuff to sell, and transition into now where I only breed, and whatever I have left is good enough that I can sell as well, so I can pay, my bills and stuff, and all the overhead. But back then, holding stuff back and growing it up instead of selling it off or wholesaling it, waiting on stuff too long, that really, really sucked. And, when you hold back stuff and you're still breeding, Got to buy more racks, more space, more time. So I haven't been as efficient as I should have been. There's a lot of stuff that I have that I shouldn't have because I have it already. And Austin was really key. It's like, Billy, why do you have this, like, pastel, enchi, OD, hypo, heck clown? Well, it's an amazing female. It's like, you got 5 already in the beginning of the rack from the beginning of the year, and you got breeder shit. All right, do I? And that's the thing. When your collection's too large, and especially when I wasn't in the whole, I was usually in the whole back room or the hatchling room more than the adult room because that was Austin's. So if I'm not in there looking at all the stuff all the time, and when we'd be sitting there, when females were ready, we'd come to the front here, sit down, and okay, what's on the list? Okay, this animal. Okay, pair it to this. And we'd look, it's like, oh, that one's really busy. Let's put it to this. You don't really know what you have when you're not constantly looking at it.
Yeah.
So he was like, dude, like, get rid of this, get rid of this. And once in a while, he'd give me a list. This is what you need to fucking get rid of. Cool. But I was always busy. I never did. So then what happens when you don't move animals and you got more animals coming? You just keep expanding. So I was at like 2,500 to 3,000 animals. I'm down now to about 2,000. I want to go down to about, say, 900 to 1,000 consistent animals in my collection. Probably more because of my holdbacks. But right now I want to drop down to 160 to 200 breeder females. I want to drop down to about 100 of those subadult females that are ready to go into those tubs, and to get where I've been or where I was from to now, it's like, oh, okay, I got all these holdbacks. Oh, I don't have enough space. Buy another rack. Okay, oh, buy another rack. Buy another rack, and you just keep growing. Now I want to sort of stay focused, which it'll be new to me. It's going to be hard, but if I have, say, 200 breeder females, and then I have 100 subadults that are ready to take their place, I know there's going to be some animals I could let go, breeder females, a year, but there's no way I'm going to drop 100 breeder females to replace for another 100. And then, so, luckily enough, and I've done it and tested it, I've actually bred in the subadult tubs. So the 50, 1,600 gram animals can breed in there and lay eggs fine because they're the same height as the 40s, except they're wider and not as deep. So they work and they're So technically, when I have 100 and 100 subadults or adults that are 12 to 1,200 grams and up, I could technically breed 300, but I don't want to do that unless they're top notch and I have all the right males. But for me, I want to downsize to, 200 instead of 400 breeder females, instead of 200 or 170 subadult females. I want to go down to about 100. My males, I'll probably still keep around 60 to 70 to breed to those animals and not overwork my males. My whole back room, I want to have at least half. So instead of having 600-700 holdbacks, I'd like to have 300-400. So
gotcha.
And then just stay, and then just have that quality and the high end stuff. And in that doing so, I've been doing so well that in COVID I went and 5 times my expenses to have this place. I dropped $250,000 in renovating this place, which I don't own. The floor, the electrical, the paint, the walls, the glass, the ceiling, the ventilation, the plumbing, you name it. And not only that, I mean, that was just expense. So that's great. But to run this place now, insurance, hydro, water, the garbage tub, the back, the everything needed, the rent, the HST, you name it. I'm running around $10K a month. So out of $10K a month, out of a 3,000 square foot building, I'm only using probably 1,000 to 1,100 of the building for breeding purposes. So 1,900 square feet, I'm just paying fucking 10 grand a month to have like all this space to do nothing. But it's great because I've loved it, I've enjoyed it, and I still do. My other animals and stuff like that. But now I want to concentrate more on being more efficient, time management. I'm 55 in April. I want to start spending more time doing other things and not just 7 days a week. And I can get more involved in my YouTube. I can get more involved in being on other people's shows or doing things or even sitting there watching and being, a listener or to be there to support, where I have so much going on that I can't always do that. But if I downsize, and I've already looked, I actually went out with Jeff on Monday at a space which was 2,200 square feet. And with everything, I'd probably be running around $4,500 a month for
nice.
Third
That's
of
a
the space.
Huge
Wow.
cut.
Right. So there's like $5,500 a month that I'm saving doing the exact same fucking thing I do now.
But how do you recoup the money that you dropped on this place?
I could, yeah.
$250,000. Oof.
But I'm also looking at purchasing. The problem is with purchasing, the ones that I want, and once I get the one, oh my God, this is my dream home. Wow, look at the land. Cool. It would still cost me, with never mind purchasing it, so much money to retrofit my new building and what I'd want to do. And then it's like, wow, so this is way out of the picture. So I'm looking at something, and plus with all the bylaws and stuff here, it's got to be in a place that has the right bylaws. In order to run a business and be residential, you'd have to have like a hobby farm or an agricultural piece of land. So in order to do that, and I don't think I'm ready right now to buy that final last place. So in order to do that, downsizing, I'm probably going to sign a 2-year lease somewhere else, downsize to make that $5,000-$6,000 a month transition that it's an extra $75,000 a year for the next 2 years in my pocket. But it also, it takes half my time away. So right now I'm putting in 5 days a week, 5.5. I like to get down to 3 or 4. So then I have the entire, changing it up. And this is my thing. I've never had that. So now I'm going to do it and say, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to go back to where I was. I don't know, right? So I'm making these changes because unless I do it, I'm not going to know how I'm going to respond or how I'm going to like it. So I'm going to put myself in a position, and worst comes to worst, I do this for 2 years, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is crazy. Fuck it. I'm going 3 times bigger than I was before. You never know, right? But
you might.
I don't know. But right now, I think I need a little bit of a break to come down and put more effort and time and be more efficient. And also, instead of paying $10,000 for a building that I'm only using a third of, why don't I go and get a building that's a third of this or even bigger, right? Like 2,000 square feet or 2,200 square feet it is, where this is 3,000, but it is an hour away from here, which isn't bad, right? But I'm saving $5,500 a month just on space.
Hard to not do that at
crazy.
Some point. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But, and I think the renovations over there I've looked would probably cost me 10 to 20 max. So even if I say 12 and 24, say I invest 12,000 in renovating it a little bit, because everything's already done for me. One place or the places that I'm going to be looking for, if I lease for 2 years or rent for 2 years, if I spend 12, it's $1,000 a month. I mean, $500 a month. If I spend $24,000, it's still $1,000 a month or $500 a month, right?
Right.
So if you add that on, so say I spend 12,000. Well, let's do it high end. I spend 24 grand. I'm there for 12 months. I'm spending 4,500 at 1,000. Now I'm 55. I'm still $4,500 at this new place. Yes,
ahead. Yeah.
ahead for the next 2 years. And then during that time, right? So in doing that right now, I have five ARS 1070 racks that I'm going to sell. Okay. And I have 4 of the 4010s or whatever they are, the breeder. With the stainless steel Freedom breeders. Just the downsize, and then that capital can come in, selling off some snakes, obviously.
There's your renovations.
And then
covered.
renovations and a lot of other things, right? And then my mentality is now I have another 2 years to save, to sell, to know what I'm doing. And when the market picks back up, a lot of that stuff can add and make more. And now, and another thing that I'm looking forward to is some of the quality of my females in a year or two, when I have to bump them up. Like, hey, here's a pastel yellow belly dreamsicle that I don't need anymore. I'm still going to sell those off and still bring in a nice chunk of change. And then I can use that to buy that perfect place where here's my home, here's my land, here's my building. Let's move it. And now I'm set.
There you go.
Right.
Get to that final spot, right?
Yeah.
Can you sublet where you're at now?
I could probably talk to the landlord, but another thing is, like, I signed a 5-year +5. So my 5 years is up September the 15th, because I got in here September the 15th, 2020, year of COVID. So prices have gone up. Real estate's gone up. The cost of borrowing is gone up. So he's already made it aware that if I do sign, my rent's probably I would probably say my rent will go up $1,000 or $2,000 a month. Why? People say, well, you put all that money into the business. Yeah, but then does it really make sense to, I'd rather be, $5,000 a month. If you think about it, if I do $5,000 a month saving by moving, in 2 years, that's 100. I get almost half the money I put in here back.
Yeah.
And then every year after, so in 5 years, now I'm instead of trying to pay more and just try to recoup that money I put in.
Yeah. Right.
And I think I need a change, but nothing's in stone. Like, I might just, I don't know the right place. Let me do this. Let me change it up. I might have somebody that might want to come in and take a room from me and say, hey, you know what? I'll give you $2,000 and you can have this whole place, and I pay for everything else, all inclusive. Here you go. You never know, right? But right now, I'm just trying to. I don't need all the space. I'm trying to downsize. I want to have more time, and with less animals and less space, at less cost, I can have less staff and pay them more.
Yeah.
And do things more efficient and be on top of everything. And but one thing that I have noticed since I've taken over the adult room, and there's a lot of stuff that I now know, a lot of the stuff that's in my collection that I know I don't need, or I'm doing the last breeding, I know what I'm getting rid of, but I just feel like I'm more efficient. I've got more control of an understanding of what I have, what I want to do, where I'm going, and it's refreshing. Like, it's almost revived a lot of the stuff where now it's all on me, like it always has. Mm-hmm. And it's gotten me to where I'm at now. Like, now I want to have more power, less, and it's like I even tell some people too. Like, you can sell off 4 or 5 of these animals. They're great for someone else, and now I can spend that money and put it into one better one. Right. So,
right.
Doing stuff like that.
Feeling more in touch with your collection, more connected to what's going on, right?
Yeah,
you get so busy and overwhelmed that you kind of lose track of things at some point, right? I have about
300-400 animals that I haven't listed. I don't have time to look up the price and take pictures, and people are like, oh my God, I'll take one of those. I'll take one of those. Like, banana scrambler pieds. I probably got 4 or 5 still. I got adults. I got subadults with like 3-4 genes that are het pieds, scramblers. I've got, leopard leopard stranger clowns, pastel leopard stranger clowns, pastel stranger clowns. I probably got a dozen of them. You know, at 500 to 1,000 a piece, there's 6K to 1,000 to 10 grand sitting in my rack. You know, and these things are 200-300 grams. I haven't even posted them on Morph Market. Like, you know, someone says, hey, what do you got? I'll put little things up on Patreon and people will buy some, but I've got a shit ton of stuff. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes. Put that up. Jamie,
Well,
put it up.
here we go. We're coming on. We've got to do it this way. So, I don't know where Jamie found this, but good Lord,
baby.
people,
Let me see it.
prepare yourselves.
Oh, kind of looks like me.
Kinda. I could have done better on Billy, but
you know what? No, I mean, you know what? Like, you know, there should be some sort of blood coming from both of us. Like, you don't get into that position without a scratch or some fucking blood.
Oh, yeah, those things
Come
are.
on. He's not gonna let me just walk up to him and hug him. He's gonna we're gonna have some fucking bloodshed before we get into this position.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking more strikes. I'm not thinking jujitsu is the best move.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, I'm not.
I think striking.
To the ground. I'm just gonna pound the shit out of it and kick it.
Yeah.
You know,
you gotta stun it.
I don't know, but if you look, okay, if you see that, like where the tail is, and then you see the leg, you see the balls. That thing there, I'm gonna kick fucking first.
That's your first target, right there.
See how big it is?
Oh, man.
Nail that, and that'll give me a bit of an advantage. But there's still going to be bloodshed and some fucking bruising and scratching before we get to that position.
Jamie's muted, but yeah, she went and found that. I don't know why we even had to do that, but we're going to put her backstage again. So,
bye, Jamie.
God's sakes, Jamie. So, yeah, I think striking, Billy. Stick with the striking. Don't go straight to the jiu-jitsu.
100%.
You know, no grappling. I'm not grappling it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's kind of what we were looking to hear is like what your goals look like for 25. And man, it sounds like you're going to come out where you want to come out in that route.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of good things like, go for Coco. You know, we got a lot of that going into the US and, you know, I love the stuff. Husbandry Pro, the next Husbandry Pro, you know, should be coming out shortly. I know that I should be able to beta test it hopefully sometime in the next month. And then people are going to be beta testing it and hammer the shit out of it and see if there's any kinks and fix them. And then I'm excited about that.
I should ask about that. Being that we're HP users, is there going to be a beta program for users out there to say, hey, or throw their name in the hat? I know maybe you'd have to randomly pick
I know
people,
right now, I don't know how many, but I know there's probably a couple dozen beta testers already, even for the old system when we were trying new things.
Sure.
I don't know how many. That's more of a Robert question, but I know there is a bunch. And on mine, I can go to beta and then back to the regular. So there's,
gotcha.
Yeah, so I can switch back and forth the beta testing. So there's stuff on there that might not be on yours, but it's on mine, and then I can go back to the regular. But with this next Husbandry Pro, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of features that I use, and I got to have 2 or 3 open screens the way I do it for my large collection. So using the new one, I think it'll make me use it more. And there's a lot of stuff that I don't use on Husbandry Pro just because I don't know it enough, or I'm not in a position or the time to actually start implementing that, where I want to start implementing everything I can. So I've also waited to implement a lot of the stuff until next Husbandry Pro comes out. But I'm excited about that for myself and for the users and the new users to come, because anybody that's new that will come aboard, once it's launched, they will never know what the old Husbandry Pro looks like unless they see videos or use somebody else's account that wants to toggle back and forth. But anybody new signing up, once it's launched, will only get the new one. And then users like us can go, oh, I want to use the old format or I want to use the new. And you can toggle back and forth or use which one you like. But this new one looks incredible, and I'm excited for it. So there's that. There's a few other things that I'm excited about, but the pairings this year, downsizing, moving a lot of stuff. I've got a lot of holdback stuff that, I open the drawer and I'm like, wow, like look at all this stuff that I got. I don't even need, and it's not even in my projects in the future where I've got enough of them, But back in the day, it was just like, wow, like Orange Dream Enchi Hypo Clown, female, put it in the rack, put it in the rack, put it in the rack. Like I got 7 of them. Why do I need 7? You know what I mean? Like I get it. You should use 3 or 4 because you can put them in different things, but I could sell 3 off and a bunch of other things I don't need and invest in 2 or 3 powerful males or stuff that gets me, so I got to start fine tuning what I have, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. And spend what I make wisely so that I can reinvest, because giving an extra $6,000 a month to utilities and hydro and the landlord,
well, and employees like
dollars a year, I could put into 2 fuck you mails. That's gonna make me money over and over, where I'm just sort of pissing money away. And that's the thing that I don't want to do anymore. I want to be more time for me, less stress, more money, reinvesting proper, and not just throwing money away. But I've enjoyed it because I've learned from it, right?
How many employees do you have?
Now I have 2 part-timers and a full-timer.
Okay. Wow. That's
okay.
Before I had like 4 full-timers, 3 part-timers, and
that's
big
what I
difference,
expected.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, big difference, right? And now I'm doing a lot of stuff too, even though I feel like I'm not doing as much. But with the rodents and the lives and Patreon and phone calls and updating, I've done a lot of stuff updating Husbandry Pro and changing stuff, and there's a lot of changes coming, right? So I'm excited about it, but I just want to put myself in a better position and try something different. And if I put myself back, like if you start with a solid foundation, no matter how big you get, if you have a solid foundation, you're not going to fall.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm at the point where I built a solid foundation, but now it's like, okay, I'm a little wonky. And if I bring it back and then, cut it
rebalance
back, and then 100%. Yeah. And, I'm sitting there looking. I mean, 2 years ago, I was paying for my rodents, $12,000 to $15,000 a month.
I remember watching you talk about that in a video, and I was just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. So I've cut that now from $12,000 to $15,000 a month. I've cut that down to about $3.5, $4,000, doing them myself and putting in some labor, not including my labor, but so that was huge.
Huge, yeah.
So, imagine I did that 3-4 years ago when I first moved here.
Yeah.
I'd have an extra, $10,000 to $15,000 a month for the last 60 months. That's, 900, like almost $1 million that I just gave away on rats and stupid shit.
Yep.
And it's like, wow. And now I've cut costs and salaries and gone down to bare bones. And now everything that comes in, I can start doing things proper. But I still got a long ways, and that's my mindset, right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm excited to see, and that's the thing. If I go back, I could always step it up or say, hey, I like this. Let me go down to less. Mm-hmm. I'm in control, and I get to decide what I want to do, but I don't know where I feel good at, because I haven't experienced anything but grow, expand. I want to sort of level it off and see where it goes. I mean, Ozzy has been doing this for years. And
he's stayed fairly small scale forever. I mean, he's never been huge quantities and numbers.
But, and that's the thing, right? And that's the thing. Yeah. I would rather do that. Like I said, I mean, I'm too busy. I can't even post 300-400 animals, take pictures, right? Like, it's crazy the stuff I've got. I look and I'm like, holy shit, it's nuts what I've got, and I'm like, why do I still have this? Like, why hasn't this posted? like ultramel krypton stuff, you know, that has like spot nose. I got females. I got so much. I'm like, I don't get it, you know. And there's a lot of shit that I got to send tests in for, you know, because I've got like 5 gene, 6 gene pied, 66% had MJs.
They call that one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I need to get my shit together. And, you know, I've just let it run for so long. Now I'm like, hey, you know what? I should have done it like this. So I'm kicking myself in the ass. But, you know, I know there's something that I got to fix, and I'm in the process of fixing it instead of, let's just keep doing it. And, you know.
Yeah. But you're going to be in excellent shape. I mean, you're in good shape regardless. So. Yeah. It's just not what you ultimately want.
Yeah,
and it's
and
going
there. Is the less time I have, you know, is really the less time that I have now is something I want more time. I want to do things on the weekend. Well, in order to do that, I can't be in the position I'm not. So if you want something, you got to sacrifice. I got to sacrifice animals and space and time. And if I'm doing this, why do I need a 3,000 square foot building if I'm only utilizing 11? Why am I spending is it really worth to have all this for an extra $6,000 a month just to have an extra 1,900 square feet for miscellaneous? Like, sure, but no.
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
no.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I've done it for so long. Yeah. But, you know, I'm going to have to make sacrifices, right? And the one city that I want to go in, my boy that I've had and raised for the last 2.5 years, maybe even 3, Drake, he's not allowed. He doesn't fit the bylaw. So I can find. I know a few people that'll take him to a great home and maybe even take the enclosure. But I mean, there's sacrifice, right? And that's another thing. Maybe I don't go out that and I find somewhere else where I can keep it. Like, do I really, or should I sacrifice that? You know, because it's a pet to me, and I've enjoyed it, and I've raised them, and it's been awesome. But it doesn't do anything for my business. It's more of a personal thing. And if you know, so that's the thing. You got to make tough choices in life, and you know, and that's only an animal. I mean, I've left, you know, relationships of many years and friends of many years because this was more important to me.
So
you gotta just get them floppy ear hat and tell everybody it's a dog.
Right.
They'll never know, man.
Yeah, it identifies as a
there you go.
As a cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these bylaws, are they by province? Are they by district? Are they by
some are provincial for the whole province, but most of them are like in Ontario. It's per sort of city or town.
Okay. So it gets to be that small, like even a village.
Toronto. Okay. So I'm in the biggest city in Canada.
Right.
You're not allowed to have tarantulas. But I basically go 5 minutes to where my old facility was in Mississauga. I'm allowed to have them.
That is a weird one. Not allowed to have tarantulas.
Not in Toronto.
Huh.
But if you go to Mississauga, which is basically connected to it, you know, if I drive 5 minutes from my facility, I'm in Mississauga.
I wonder I always wonder what's the rationale. I mean,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
They know they're not going to survive winter, right? If they get out. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, but I mean, some are mildly venomous, and we don't really, you're not allowed to have venomous here. If you do, you got to be, there's a lot of restrictions. So you just got to be careful, right?
Yeah.
And being where I'm at in this industry, I don't want to be that guy to move
that gets
to a
flagged and tagged.
That's doing something where I'm not supposed to, and I break. I want to be a good example, not breaking the bylaw because I'm as big as I am, or you know who I am. Oh, I've been doing this for years. I should be able to have these. I'm not more special than anyone else, you know. So you got to respect the bylaws and do what you got to do, and that's the thing, because I find a beautiful property like, oh my God, this is perfect. Bylaws of this, and I don't think I can share screen. Oh, I can share screen.
Sure you can. Yep.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me do this. So I'm going to type in here. So
we'll put Jamie back. Yeah, the bylaws are a crazy thing. I would think they'd be by district or province, but it gets down to city by city. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen.
Sure.
Hopefully,
I'll pop it up there.
So, do you see me? Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Takes a second, but there we go.
So let me just see. Is this spay and neuter? Let's see if this is it. Yeah, so you go through all this and you want to go to the very bottom to where it's the prohibited animals. Hold on.
I'd have quit at like page 10. I hate this already,
I'm
Billy.
good.
Yes, I tells you the regions and hold on. Fuck off. It's so stupid. Hold on. Yeah, you have to go through this for all the things. So it tells you the cities
Man, alive.
yeah, it's crazy. So hold on. And this could just be for dog and cat, but it should be exotic. Various kinds of animals. Hold on. Amendments. Hold on.
Yeah, this is just BS.
Yeah, but there's fines like $500 per animal. It tells you the fines. Hold on. This might be just cats and dogs. So let me do that.
There you go. Prohibited animals right there.
Oh, okay.
Aminals.
Where an animal is prohibited under sections 10.1. So let me go up to 10.1. Okay, so here we are. Ready? 10.1. Prohibited animals. No person shall keep animals belonging to the following. All this stuff, we go down here. No alligators, crocodiles, caimans, right? Horses, donkey, jackasses. Hold on. Let me see. If I go to Hamilton, can I get a fucking kangaroo? Let me see.
I was going to say, if kangaroo's not on there,
yeah, you motherfucker.
We're going to have to schedule
right? So rodents, okay? Porcupines, prairie dogs, nutria. Sounds like something I spread on my fucking toast. And chinchillas. Except rodentia, where neither the male or female exceeds 1,500 grams, right? And that are derived from a self-sustaining captive population. So I can keep rodents. But if that's in your home, you might not be able to do this from your home, right? Depending on how many you have, because some places have maximum nine animals. So you can only have 9 animals. And then if you have, only 9 animals, and you can't run a business out of your home because it's not zoned for sales so you really got to watch, right? So squamata, e.g. lizards and snakes. Okay, so no lizards and snakes except non-venomous snakes where neither the male or male species exceeds 3 meters, which is 10 feet from tip to tail before or at maturity, which works. And then non-venomous lizards, not iguanas, you're not allowed to have at all.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah, super invasive. Yeah, iguana's got a bad rap.
Not in Canada. The fucking thing would be fucking. I could go pull them out frozen outside. Like, you know what I mean? They're fucking morons. Like, but anyways, okay. But where the female nor the male of the species exceeds 2 meters, which is 6 feet. So I can keep Drake. But there's some places, like 10 minutes away from Hamilton, that you can't have snakes or fucking reptiles. And then you go 10 minutes in the other direction, and you can have snakes up to fucking 3 meters, which is 10 feet. But you can only have 36-inch from head to tail lizards. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't get it. Like, but you really got to look, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens is you got to keep looking because you see where it says squamata, lizards, and snakes, except, and it says non-venomous snakes up to 3 meters. But then you got to keep looking because there might be one that says no snakes with the, from the family Pythondae and Boidae. So you can have snakes that are up to 10 meters, or sorry, 10 feet, but the species, anything python or boa, is banned. So you got to look at that. So here, it doesn't have that because I would see snakes. Because you'll see snakes, and you'll have this whole thing right here, and then you'll see the actual classification of python. Any python, even if it stays within this restriction, the species is banned. So you really got to look into, and like, you see what I got to do. Like, you see all this bullshit.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like most places it's $500 per animal. So say I move this to a place and I got 2,000 animals, I have $100,000 fine.
Wow.
No, sir.
No, sorry, that would be what, 2,000 times 500? That's
$5 million fine.
Yeah, I'd have $1 million fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, and that's and thank God you got to look at this. This is updated the 20, so this is current. But you got to go into other things. So if I go right here, so watch this. So if I go here and let me see, where's one that I know you're not allowed? Let's say Oakville. So Oakville. Sorry if this is Oakville. Exotic.
No, this is all super interesting because we literally have, for the most part here, it's state to state. Now, you will have some states where county to county, they get a little touchy. But
you can see this new one, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So now I got to go to Schedule B because it says here, restricted animal means animal of the type listed in Schedule B. So now you got to go find Schedule B. Dog biting.
Kangaroo fighting.
Yeah, man, that's probably prohibited.
I'm sure it's prohibited, yes.
Okay, so here's prohibited animal A. Okay. So Schedule B. Okay. So the following are restricted animals. Mice, rabbits, gerbils, ferrets, hamsters, guinea pigs, other rodentia, which do not. So I can't have a hamster. I can't even have a hamster as a pet or a rabbit because it's restricted.
What?
Right? But I can have a rat. I can have a ASF because it doesn't exceed here. So see how it says here, mice, rabbit, germ, but I can have a fucking rat because it doesn't exceed 1,500 because it doesn't say Norwegian rat. So then when you go up here, let me just see.
There's the reptilias right there.
Okay, so see here? So now here, lizards that are venomous or reach an adult length 2 meters, so 6.5 feet. So I can't have boas in this town.
Right.
And this town is closer than Hamilton to Toronto. Okay? And it
you
says,
better not get a Volta ball python either, because that'd probably sneak over
that's
6.5.
So that's lizards
Right.
2 meter. Snakes that reach an adult, like, okay, so they did change this because this was banned at one point. So this is good to know because I wasn't looking here. I could actually look in this town now too.
Yeah, you just got to start going to those town hall meetings, man.
Oh, that doesn't do nothing, man. I mean,
it doesn't. They got, what was the repeal thing up there? Is there like a, right above this? It said repeal. Is that like a how to? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just
Too
says when it
technical
was.
for me. But I'm trying to think because I could have sworn. Wow, they must have changed this because when I was here, when I lived there, before I moved the facility, that was over 10 years ago. So this must be new. Let's see when this is dated. Version March 22. So when I was, so I've had a facility for over 10 years, right? So 10 years ago would have been 2014. I couldn't have ball pythons. So they've changed this because I was not allowed to have ball pythons in the city. Crazy.
Yeah.
But you'll see.
So how does that come about, right? That's what I wonder.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people went and like, where's the place that
Blame.
I know you're not allowed to have it? You're allowed to have it in Caledon. So let me do Guelph, right? Guelph exotic pet bylaws. And that's what I do. When I find a place, I'm constantly going through exotic and non-domestic.
Yeah, we'll ban the damn mosquitoes for sure.
Okay. So in this town here, which is where I want to go, okay. So if you go down to, so here, look at this. Rodentia, beavers, squirrels, mice, porcupines, and rats. So no rats, okay? But you can have rodents that do not go 1,500 grams, but it says rats. So after rats, Norwegian rats, anything under rats, you're not allowed. Where if you saw in Toronto, it didn't have rats. It had everything but rats. So here you can't have rats. Okay?
So I wonder now, they always say African soft for rat, but I believe it's not a rat. Correct? Is it not a multi-mate or some kind of a weird mouse?
It's weird. Yeah, so we'd have to look into that. But if you look here, okay, all squamata, okay, anacondas, scrub pythons, Indian rock pythons, Burmese, reticulated, right? Nile monitors, crocodile monitors, blah, blah, blah. Komodo dragons, no shit. Vipers, rattlesnakes, cobras.
Komodo dragons.
Yeah.
Velociraptors.
You know?
Right. It isn't scrolling on this side for whatever reason. It's stuck on that main.
Oh, is it? Okay. But yeah. So here, I mean, it changes, right? And that's the thing that sucks. Oh, it was on this one here. Okay, that's why. Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
that's okay.
Because when I hit that thing, it opened another page. That's fine. I'm scrolling through it. But that's how stupid it is. It's like you got to really look and find a place because, especially commercial, when you're commercial, you don't have to abide by the number of pet per household or residence. Because I'm commercial, I bypass that. Because I'm commercial, I'm paying taxes and I'm doing things legit, and I have insurance, right? So that helps. But I don't want to move to a place, set everything up, and they're like, oh, you're not allowed to do this. Oh, bye. And then a lot of people do this from their home. And yeah, you know what? If you do it in your home and you open up a business and you might be allowed, and the problem is I think I would say all of Ontario or Canada, I'm not sure, but if they know that you have animals in your residence, if you're not a animal barn, farm, hobby farm, if you have residential zoning and you have snakes in a residential building, okay, a residential home, your insurance will automatically cancel you, your home insurance.
Yeah.
And
Crazy.
I read some things that it happens in some states as well, some places too, that insurance.
It does here.
Yeah. So I have commercial insurance. I don't have any bylaws I'm breaking because I'm within the bylaw rights. I don't have numbers that I need. I'm insured, and I can do what I'm doing without any. I'm running a business out of a commercial building. I have the right. I can have as many as I want. I'm insured. I'm paying taxes. No bylaws are broken, and my insurance won't get canceled for my home because it's not in my home.
Right.
And a lot of people are doing this, and they could get screwed over. And when I decided to go bigger, I've already got bit in the ass where I had my very first facility, and the landlord came in and said, you can't do this here. And I'm like, well, yeah, I can. It's a commercial building. I'm within the bylaw. And he says, well, it's my unit. I want you out. And I went to a lawyer, and he said, yeah, well, you know what? You might have a chance, but say he locks you out because it's his unit, and he can lock
And
you
all
out.
your animals
And,
are in there.
if you win in 5 years, your animals will be dead.
Right.
And I'm like, wow. So he goes, guess what? Your fight is against the landlord and your animals living until you win the thing. But if you want, and we do win, if there is animals that are dead, we can get this, that, and then he might have to pay you for that. But if you lose, like, and then, and I'm like, well, fuck, I don't care. I care about my animals and I want to do this. I'm breeding, so it wasn't about what I was going to make. I was like, I want my animals out. So I had to do a 3-day fucking mission with a bunch of cool people that came. We rented 2 U-Hauls and loaded it all up and brought it back to my house and did it there illegally until I found my old facility.
Yeah.
So do they have an instance where you can have your residential home business with a separate building? I mean, can you do outbuildings as a commercial?
I believe, but you would have to have it if the property is zoned residential, okay? If you have a office, you can only write a percent. So if I have I don't really know exactly, so don't quote me, but if you had like my old house, okay, it was I think 5,600 square feet, big ass house. I can only use 20% of that home for office use or for business use. So that means I could only have 1,000. I guess it would work 1,000 square feet or a certain part of that, because you can't have a residential house and have 80% of it commercial or business. You can only write a percentage off. I believe it's 20%. So that's why you see home offices or a garage or a den, but you can only write off a certain amount or take a percentage of that to use towards business. Plus, they're going to see what type of business you have. But if you have an outbuilding and you're residential, it's not in the house, but it's still home insurance. You really got
It's just iffy.
Yeah. So if you want to do
Yeah,
like I did,
okay.
I'm like, you know what? I ain't fucking around. I'm commercial. I want as many snakes. I'm within the bylaws. I'm doing this right. No one's going to take away what I'm doing. And I've had
Gotcha.
bylaw officers here all the time. Hey, Billy, yeah, someone called and said, come on in. I'd be sitting right here on my computer. I'm like, here you go. I'll give them my fob and say, hey, go to the back. Do what you got to do. If there's any questions, let me know, or talk to my staff.
See, it's odd for us because that's such a huge push here, and especially in the state we're in Wisconsin. I mean, there's a big push for residential business. They want small business, and they push for that a lot. So if you do the outbuilding, you automatically fall into that category, and that is a separate entity. Even though it's on your property, even though it's part of your belongings, it is looked at as a separate entity. And especially if you do, like we have, the LLC situation, that whole enterprise is separate from your personal home at that point. So it's an odd difference in legality between the Canadian situation and where we are. So super interesting for sure.
Yeah, so I just want to have it so there was no issues whatsoever. So, I didn't want to put time and money in, and that's why I talked to the landlord. This is what I'm doing. This is what I want to do, and here you go. And it's just something that I don't want to do something half-assed and get burned by it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Yep.
Makes
Absolutely.
So I'm just trying to get things set up properly, but look into your where you're located. Look at the bylaws. Make sure that if you're investing and doing it right, and putting something in the backyard, you're legally allowed to do it. You're legally allowed to run your LLC or your business out of that on your property, or like here, I'm looking for hobby farms. A hobby farm where it's agriculture. It's
Right.
known differently. Or residential commercial, where I could have commercial on the main floor and resident above, right? So it's zoned both ways, right? So I found a couple buildings where, there's the main floor and then there's residents. But I also don't want to have my my building or my business on a floor where there's the fucking next door is a beauty salon and a clothing store or a restaurant. I don't need that. I don't need I need a commercial spot that's not really retail.
Right.
Right. So trying to find the perfect mix, and especially if I have a time limit, I'd rather just go move it somewhere for 2 years and then find that right place and do what I got to do.
You think the beauty salon would mind the rat smell, really?
Well, I mean, I don't do, I do ASFs. And when you have them ventilated properly, you could stand in the room and have a conversation. Like I could be in the ASF room right now, and you could be too, and you'd never know you're in there. Unless it's like day 6 or 7, because it's heavily soiled.
Right before cleaning time.
Yeah. But I mean, like it's, because people come in and go, holy fuck, wow. And it's like, it's the ventilation, guys.
Yeah.
I've got air intake, exhaust, everything's calculated. I got them on dimmers, so I have them, and it's a little cooler. I mean, the dimmer I have, I've dimmed the fans, the exhaust fans, a little slower than I'd like, because if I turn them on like I do in the summer, I'm spending more money to heat the place because it's pulling hot air out in the winter. So little tiny things you got to adjust, and it's just like, wow. So, but yeah, I just want to do things right, and that's the thing. Like, there's an expense to it. Like, I've got a big disadvantage because there's other people breeding without paying taxes, without doing anything, not paying insurance. They're doing it out of their house illegally.
For a short while.
Meanwhile, I got to spend $10,000 a month. But
that'll backfire at some point.
I ain't getting screwed over. And there's people been out there that have called bylaw on me because they're jealous fucking cocksuckers. Excuse for the language, but, I was actually being pretty nice, or what I like to call them.
Right.
They come on in. I'm like, hey, Billy. Hey, how you doing today? Oh, my God, is Tom here? Yeah, he's coming in next. Oh, hey, Tom, come on in. Go nuts. Well, what did I do this time? Like, fuck. Like, come on in. Go ahead. I don't even walk around with them. I just give them the key. They can fucking open up whatever you want. My staff's back. If you need me, come on.
Right. That's the way you want it to be, though. You don't want to be looking over your shoulder.
This is how we do it. And I've even showed them. I said, listen, I have animals here with no eyes. I have some animals with one eye. I have some animals with shark jaw. If they're thriving and eating, they're still here. They're not for sale. I just keep them because I can, right? Yep. And they say, what do you do with somebody who does stuff? I said, listen, I mean, if you want a list, I can give it to you. I got oddity people that come. I've got people that take these and use them for cobra food, other types of food for animals and monitors and other lizards. I have people that call me for University of Guelph. They sometimes call me and they'll buy like 25 or 50 for research, for dissection. And I said, so, I mean, I have a way, and this is what I do. But, I'm not just putting an animal down because I can't sell it, Right. And the thing is, if it's thriving here, and I've even sold some as pet only, because there's some people that want oddity animals. They just love caring for an animal, like a dog with, I personally wouldn't house a dog with one leg. If my dog got in an accident, I mean, with one leg, it'd be pretty funny. But I mean, without one leg, like, come on, let's go for a walk.
Doing.
Like, I mean, with 3 legs, missing one, right? So with missing one, I wouldn't have the patience or the stuff to have that. But there's people out there that would. Right?
Yeah, and love those animals.
Correct.
We've sold a couple with an oddity, small eye, or
I do have people
chunk tail.
I have people that will do that, or a kink in the tail that might impact breeding. You never know. But for a pet, and of course, you get a discount, or I've even given some away. There was a person that had one, and they called them Captain. It had no eyes, and it was really weird, and it almost acted like a spider with food because it was just like really weird. But they took that, and I just said, hey, have it. It's gone to a good home. So they asked me stuff like that. How do you do it? What do you do? How do you euthanize? This is what we do, and it's not like I euthanize everyone. Hey, look, here you go. And they'll open up tubs, and this is my process. This is what I use. There's my sterilization. Everything's stainless steel. What do you need to ask me? I've never had anything written up where you need to change this or, hey, it's like, poof, you know?
Yeah. That's how you want it to be, right? I mean,
crazy that
no looking over your shoulder.
That,
yeah, and that's the funny thing too, is because like, you know, every year, except those years with COVID, I have people here. My old facility here was the first time because it was the very first one. And last year I did it too. And Mr. Bull Python himself, Sammy, come up both years here. You know, same with Andrew from Powerhouse Pythons, and Brittany from Fire Baby, and, you know, quite a few other people. They've come up, and this year, like, you saw how many people were here. Hey, go ahead, go open. You know, they can. It's open the drawers, walk around, you do what you want. You know, and there's nothing to hide, and you know, and it's like you might open a bin and see poop or a stuck shed. Well, guess what? So do you in your collection.
Yep,
like, you know,
it's a damn animal.
Yeah, so I have nothing to hide, and you know, this is what I do, and it's not like, oh shit, like customers are coming over Saturday, let's hire a bunch of people, and Thursday, Friday, let's clean until they're perfect. Well, that's stupid, because the next day when they come, there's still going to be ones that shit and piss and have stuck shed. But the thing is, I didn't do that. Like, you come in, and that's the thing. When they come, they're not going to say, hey, we're coming on Friday. They'll show up and go, hello, how you doing? We're here to inspect. Oh, can you come back Tuesday? No, they walk in now.
Right.
And that's the thing. My facility, at any time, you could walk in when I'm feeding my fucking snake. Come on in. I don't, you know.
How often do they inspect?
Oh, it depends when some fucking asshole calls and says,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so someone's jealous or, you know.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Yeah.
I built an extension. And it's not even an extension. So I had one fucking asswipe. I built a little, so it had a canopy that was already built, like a carport. Do you remember on the back, there's a garage that said slacking on the back?
Yeah. Yep, I saw that, yep.
Well, I lifted the garage door up, and I put some screws in to keep it up. And the carport, it had a built carport that was built to the facility, right, which needed a permit, and they had things. It was already permitted. It was an existing structure. All I did was put paneled sides and insulate it and put a door on it. Someone called, oh, blah, 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 he did an illegal thing. Okay, the guy comes in. He's like, hey, how you doing? Did you build this? I'm like, no, this is what I did. Here's the picture before. Here's videos. All I did was connect the wall to the pillar to the pillar, and the pillar to the wall, and put a door in. I insulated it. I used fucking outdoor pressure-treated wood, right, for decking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I put a seal gasket in. I put Roxol in insulation. I put a vapor barrier. I used acoustic seal to seal that off. And on the outside, I put, what do you call it? Outdoor weather barn board, right? Yeah. For sheds.
Sure.
And I got it painted with, you know, here you go. And we caulked and sealed it. Oh, so nothing framed to the existing structure? I'm like, no, the existing structure, all I did, no problem. Sorry. Yeah.
Closed it in.
Yeah. And I know exactly who called them in. Some jealous motherfucker.
Jesus.
It's like, okay, so bye-bye, I'll hear, you know. And he's like, so, and there was 2 complaints, right? But he's like, hi, I'm the building guy. But yeah, I guess, you know, I'm not the animal guy. So there'll be someone else coming to you too. And like, because of the animals. I'm like, oh. He goes, yeah. He goes, you breed snakes, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's me, guilty. He's like, wow, you know, my grandson would love this place. I'm like, well, fuck, you know, why don't you come on in for a minute? Had him in here, and fucking like 2 weeks later, he brought his fucking grandson.
But he's the building guy, so you didn't have to.
So yeah. That's the thing, right? Like, you know what? I mean, I'm not going to do anything. You know what? You want to come at me, motherfuckers. Like, I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not stupid. You know? I didn't build a structure or anything. Like here in Canada, I don't know about there, but if you have a house and you build a deck off the backyard, okay, it's got to be a certain away from the property line stuff. But as soon as you put a lag bolt and attach it to your home, it now becomes a part of the home, and you need a permit.
Yeah, depending. I mean, that's pretty variable too, but yeah, it depends on where you are.
As soon as you attach it fix
to your house.
to your
Yep,
house,
yep,
it becomes a thing and you need a permit.
yep.
You just put it on, cinder blocks, or you basically put holes in the ground and put two like posts in and build off of that and don't tie into your house. As long as it's within a certain size and you're allowed to do it without a permit.
Yep.
Know what the fuck you're
But
doing.
next thing you know, here comes the building guy.
Yeah, they'll make you rip it out.
Right.
But that's the thing. It's crazy where, like, call the bylaw office because you're jealous.
Right,
You know what
right.
I mean? And I'll tell you, I know who it is, and I remember you, and guess what? You want to play dirty? Guess what? I will too, but I'll get you when you're going to fucking be at the worst. So,
Yes, they'll get theirs.
Revenge is a bitch.
Right.
It is.
Well, Billy, we can't thank you enough. We have taken far more of your time than we ever should.
You know me, I just love yapping.
No. It was a blast.
Into a bylaw section and
Right. We're looking through where can we build this now? We got all kinds of blueprints up, and it was a blast. So it was a hell of a lot of fun.
Having me, and I'm just like, it was good. I like those questions. I haven't had a hot seat or a bunch of questions like that, unless the last time it was like I think Chris Eaton has those, and then MJ.
Okay.
And that's been probably a few years since I've done those. So
Been a while.
Refreshing. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So we're gonna do this. We'll bring Jamie back out. So this is something we do at the end of every show. So people have 2 hours and like 40 some minutes of material, but a trivia question where we get to give away Forge Coin, right?
Cool.
So the Forge Coin is it's goofy, but it gives people a chance to just spend with us or all those affiliates at the beginning of the show. So there's about $400 or $500 in Forge Coin floating around out there. So it's worthwhile.
Cool.
Let's do it.
That's fun.
What we got, Jamie?
This is what I came up with. A little bit different than normal.
All right. That's okay. A little different than normal's fine.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So, which one of these Billy statements is false? You gotta want it. Always prepare for the best. It's not the quantity, it's the quality. Or you need a game plan. Which one did Billy not say?
Come on, guys. Dun, dun, dun.
First person to get the correct answer in the chat wins $10 Forge Coin.
One of them should have said, I'll kick a kangaroo's ass.
No, I'll fuck the kangaroo up.
Yeah, there it is.
I'll stick his fucking head in his pouch.
Dude, I was in tears so bad.
I'm going to I want to see someone do an AI, me fucking fighting a kangaroo.
Yeah, an actual video of it, though, like an actual scrap,
you gotta pay for the video AI download things. But that's what I was doing, is talking to AI, and it won't let me use the word blood or kicking the balls.
Oh, that is not correct, Spicy Mike. He did say you gotta want it. Yeah, Billy knows. He has said that.
You gotta want it. You can't.
Yeah.
If you don't want it, you're not going to work hard for it. You're not going to sacrifice. Connie.
Here we go.
Ding, 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 ding. Connie for the win.
We've got a winner.
She collects some coin. Yes, that's what it was. And then no, it was not. I'm going to fuck that kangaroo up.
I will add you to the Forge Coin tally, Ma.
Yeah, awesome so stuff. Good. So appreciate it. Appreciate it, guys. Billy, appreciate you 100%. Like I said before you came out, the most approachable guy, and not just at your level, but on any level in the industry. Like we reached out to you, you instantly replied, and you didn't even question who we are. You're just genuine. You're willing to help. You're approachable.
And that's the thing. And it's my timing too. I think February 25th, I'm on Brian and Holly Sky High Morphs.
Okay.
And like I said, I try to go on as many as I can. I don't sit there and go, oh, you're not big enough, or I don't care about the views. I'm here to, preach what I believe in and what I believe people should hear. Whether it's a huge channel, and the thing is, I have a huge channel. So if I just wanted my own channel and get a lot of viewers, I would just stay on my own. but I want to be there and I want to do this. And hopefully this helps you get more people and grow and get better, more comfortable interviewing. And, you shouldn't have to pick and choose. I understand like people are busy, but you can always make time a place for anybody. And that's the thing. I'll give my time to anyone. You don't have to be a certain elite or, that's what I'm about. And not everybody's about it. And that's cool. It's what I choose to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we appreciate that a ton, Billy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you again. Thank you everyone in the audience for coming out and hanging out. It was a long show, but it was a hilarious show. A lot of good information in here. Yeah. Always, when Billy's on, you're going to hear exactly who Billy is and exactly what Billy's about.
You never know what you get, right? Like,
but we loved it, man. Really appreciate it.
It was a good time.
100%.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks, John, Jason, and Jamie.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Jilly in the house.
Jilly in the house. So next week, another guest, guys. We got Holly from Texoma. She's going to come sit with us, talk a little bit about their plans coming up for 25. They're going to do some vending. And they have some new show ideas coming up for their show too. So it'll be fun sitting with them. Finish out the week strong, guys. We're only at Wednesday. A couple more work week days here, and weekend's not far off. So East Coast people, glad you stayed with us. If you stayed with us, if you didn't, we get it. Hit the replay, catch all the stuff Billy had for us in the second half. But Billy, thank you again. Have a good evening, sir. And Jason, Jamie, you guys have a good night too. Everybody in the audience.
Send me the YouTube link. Send me the YouTube link and I'll put it and I'll share it tomorrow. Or if you want to make a post, and then I'll repost it on mine with the link. And then that way, help more people come.
Absolutely. Appreciate that. We'll definitely send that over, Billy. Thank you again. You guys have an awesome night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Peace out, guys.